Hey listeners, if you haven't joined Stitcher Premium yet, now's the perfect time. Stitcher Premium gets you completely ad-free episodes of hundreds of shows like Comedy Bang Bang, WTF with Mark Maron, and How Did This Get Made? You also get 21,000 hours of exclusive content. New exclusive originals like Marvel's Wolverine and Issa Rae's Fruit are launching every week for Stitcher Premium members. If you love podcasts, you are missing out. When you listen to ad-free episodes in Stitcher Premium, your favorite podcasters get paid. Help support your favorite shows and join Stitcher Premium today. For a free month of listening, go to StitcherPremium.com and use promo code CONVERSATIONS.
Feed me more.
Welcome to Conversation with the Big Guy. I am the Big Guy Ryback, and this week there's no Asian Joe, there's no Phoenix Marie. Asian Joe will be joining me a little bit later. He unfortunately is back to Carla's Joe. It is he just informed me about an hour ago we were going to be meeting up here at the studio to record, and at 7 o'clock, and his car, which he will tell us about, his belt was shredded. He was on his way over to go pick up a dog at one of his friend's house. I believe he said Alexis Fox. And his battery light came on as he was getting off the freeway, and he opened his hood and his belt was shredded and his power steering, it just went. He was able to get to her house, I guess, he said. But so he's going to be joining us via Skype here in a little bit. And so this week, just to kick off the show like we've been doing, we got Ace Mike Malero, my main man. And how you doing, Mike? What's going on?
It's still real to me, damn it.
Good, big guy. How you doing?
I'm good. Just got back in from Canada here. Had a great show at HIW, which I'm going to talk about here later on with Joe. But wrestling a character, Mike McSugar, down in HIW, who is he makes Goldust look like a saint when Goldust was back when Goldust was the original Goldust. So you can only imagine this was quite the matchup, but we pulled it off, and I think we pulled it off quite well based off the crowd feedback. So it was another great week, great time on the road. But I had to get up at 3:30 a.m. and just showered before when I got in after the show, went and got food, and then I've learned to, like, instead of waking up and showering and like getting ready all over again, do it all before I go to bed. That way I can just wake up and brush my teeth and my stuff's all packed and just go straight to the airport, and I could sleep in an extra like 30 minutes usually. So and then had a couple connections to Calgary. I was in Regina to Calgary, back to Vegas. So it was a good time, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But busy day, running all around again and getting everything organized. But I got this upcoming week off before I head to Australia, so it's we got a few recordings to do. But this week I got one next week, and I got to do one early before I leave. So because I leave Wednesday, May 9th, I believe, till the 20th. So. But I got it all timed out pretty well, so the show will go on. But it's definitely, this will be a challenging 10 days being home, but we'll get it done. So, but everything good. We've had a busy week in wrestling, huh?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of news this week.
What?
Just want to jump right in.
Yeah, no, we'll go ahead. Let's go to get some plugs in for you before we. I always like to plug you, and that sounds horrible.
I appreciate that. Plugged by the big guy.
Oh God, Phoenix isn't even on the show, and it's still, jeez.
Her legacy lives on. All right. You can find Mike Ice Malero on criticalblast.com. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter at SketchNM. This week it was all about Avengers Infinity War. I actually took the kids real early this morning, and we had a great time. I don't want to give any spoilers, but it's a hell of a movie, and people should definitely get out and go see it.
Did that just come out today, or has that been out now for?
Yesterday. Not yesterday, but yeah.
Okay, I might have to. Everyone, I've gone to more movies in the last 2 years since I've been off the road than I normally did. So I'll probably, if it's worth checking out, I'll go check it out. I actually love this, like the comic book and the superhero movies. I just don't. I never followed the comics as a kid or anything, but I love the movies. So
I think they stand pretty good without, if you don't read the comics, you could definitely enjoy them. So
yeah, I definitely understand the following, and because I would, it's I never got into them at a young age, and it was like I missed that boat for me. But it's the movies I definitely enjoy, so I will probably end up be going this week to go check that out. But we've had this is quite the week in wrestling. A lot of news, right?
yeah, going to start with the Greatest Royal Rumble. I actually haven't watched the full show yet. It was another long show, 6 hours, 5 if you ignore the pre-show. Had no matches,
Oh wow.
but still a pretty long investment of time. On this show, unlike WrestleMania, you did get, of the 5 hours, 3 hours of wrestling. So that was an advantage. I thought there was a lot of cool matches. Brock versus Reigns had a really complicated finish, and I think they pulled it off really well. And,
I heard that,
he was
yeah.
a spear through the cage. And when they hit the ground, since Brock hit the ground first, he kept the title. And it was a pretty cool finish. I mean,
How long did they wrestle on did those two? How long of a match did they have? Because I saw parts of it. I was over in Canada, so I was actually working out during, and it came on early in the morning there. So I just sporadically would turn it on, and I noticed, I go, man, this is a long show, because I started it in my hotel, watched it as I was working out sporadically, had it on my phone, and then had it after I went and ate after my workout, and it was still going. And I go, man, and like it was a long time from the course of when I first woke up to going to the gym and eating. I went and ate at Boston Pizza first, then went to the gym, and this thing was on throughout all of it. So that's why I was like, I thought it was going to be only like, a 3-hour deal, but it was much longer than that.
I mean, the Great Royal Rumble match itself was about an hour, 15 minutes, because they had 50 guys. The Brock match was about 10 minutes long itself. But,
okay.
And most of the matches were at least 15 minutes, 10 minutes long. So I said, and then the Battle Royal itself was a good hour and 15. So
yeah, with that many guys and the minute entrances, I believe they usually, it's around a minute. Sometimes they do 90 seconds. That one definitely was probably a minute, and I'm sure they even cheated it on some, which they've always been known to do. So, but that's. I did see a picture of the finish with Brock and Roman, so I think that's a cool way to keep everything going with that. Kind of like they did with AJ and Shinsuke too, with to kind of keep everything going, but doing this big show, they found ways out on some of their bigger matches. So, I
mean, it sort of felt like a house show a little bit with the way they did some of the matches. I mean, the AJ and Shinsuke had the double count out, and most of the titles didn't change hands. I think the only title that move was Bray and Matt won the tag titles, but they were vacant anyway.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool to see that. So
yeah, that was I'm happy for Bray that he's finding he's adapted to this role really well, and they're being given a good opportunity. So, and they're both highly entertaining and both extremely talented. So that's it'll be interesting to see how they evolve together with this and where it goes. So, but yeah, I agree. They're making a lot of money on this deal for the next 10 years. I think it is supposedly. So it's in Saudi Arabia, like these people, they like money to them, the amount of money they have to spend from everything is like, it's just, we can't even fathom it. It's, I could just see like them wanting the best of everything. They want the best show, the greatest Royal Rumble. They want everything to be the greatest, and because they have the money to afford it. So like that's when WWE puts on this, brings over all the top guys, and it's a huge production. But it's not one of their big pay-per-views, but they have to bill it as one. But I agree, it's more like it was just a really, really expensive live event, but. And I think this opens up opportunities for them to do big business in other places. If they want to bring it, who's to say that someone in just Russia, for example, well, we want to sell out this arena, and we want you to bring up one of your greatest shows over here, again, it could be great business for WWE. It sucks for the talent. It's great for paydays probably, but as far as travel and all that, could be a little difficult at times and whatnot. Those long flights and just being on the road constantly. But it's again that's a big business deal for them on their bottom line. So.
Yeah, I mean, you had Cena and Triple H, you had Undertaker was there. I mean, they really pulled out all the stops to put on a show that was just, like I said, I mean, it was basically a second WrestleMania, 3 weeks after the first one.
Yeah, I actually, and I caught most of Cena and Triple H. And I could tell like that. I'm sure they had the ending mapped out, or to some degree, the ending, all that in the go home. But it felt to me like they were in there and just kind of winging it for the majority of that match, and you could kind of tell if you go back and watch it. But to me, that it's like I enjoy watching that much more than a planned match, because you can actually see the guys improvising and trying to act and react, and I just thought I enjoyed that match, and there were some sloppy things in it, but you're again two guys that aren't full time. They're not working every night. They've only worked a handful of times to begin with. But I enjoyed watching that personally as a fan, because I could see they were calling that on the fly, if you will, for a good part of it. It looked like so.
It was kind of funny during the Royal Rumble itself. Hornswoggle showed up. It's like it was cool to see him back in the WWF ring. But unfortunately, about the thing that's been talked about the show the most was poor Titus O'Neil.
Oh yeah, quite a few people started messaging me yesterday and sending me gifs of it and the video of it, and that sucks.
It seemed like everybody had a good sense of humor about it, including Titus himself. But my favorite comment was Batista's. It was, "Bro, enough already. We get it. You're super freaking athlete. You have to keep rubbing in. A lot of people worked really hard for that match, and you come along and steal the show with your superior athletic ability. It's not cool, man."
Yeah, no, that's funny. He, in all seriousness, I'm glad he's all right. People don't understand that steel. And I believe, had he hit the steel and not gone all the way, and I believe there's a steel beam that goes all the way down in the middle of the ring as well. I'm not 100% certain. Maybe I'm thinking, because I know they're on some independent rings. I can't remember if WWE has one of the posts. It's like a smaller type metal post that in the middle on the outside. But even if that's not there, just the bottom frame is not. He barely missed just that bottom frame. Going at the speed he was going, like, had he tripped and fallen and hit his head on any, like, he would have been knocked out cold, I have no doubt. Like, that was, because when you trip like that was full force. I mean, he slid all the way under the ring, and it's funny, it's hysterical because he is okay. And that's, I always, with my gimmick foot running to the ring was always, because I've had to do run-ins and stuff, and I would always stagger that because it's very tricky down there, because that mat does go, it goes and there's like a little upwards part, and it's the slightest thing, but it just takes a little small, your boot just not getting up quite all the way, getting caught in that, and you can see what happens. And I think he's handled it in a great way, and I think everybody, you have no choice but to laugh, because for me, again, I always look at it like this too. I always wonder how much they have invested in Titus O'Neil, because to me, if that was and let me get your opinion on this too, Ace, if that was Stone Cold Steve Austin running down the ramp, do you think they show replays of that?
No, hell no. The announcers were laughing about it, and the announcers kind of joked about it for a good 10 minutes after. You're right. If it was someone like Stone Cold or
anybody else, and personally, and this is personally, the video is going to make it online. I'm sure fans are going to capture it. That's fine. You let them do it. But from a work standpoint, I'm fucking furious if that's me, because to me that's and again, you got to know how to protect your brand, and it's fun, and everyone, hopefully they do something with it and you can make a little money out of it. But I think that shows that's a reflection of where you're standing in the company, and a lot of people might get upset at that. But personally, from speaking as a performer, If I'm running down that ramp and I trip and fall, then the company starts highlighting that, and they didn't have to because they didn't get it on the main shot to begin with. Oh, you guys are going out of your way to make me look like a fool now. So and again, it's pro wrestling. If that's the character, no problem. But I just know that I just use Stone Cold as an example because I think everybody understand the level he was at and how he was used. It could be anybody. If it was John Cena, it could be. I'm talking anybody else. But it just I don't know. That to me, that's what I noticed. And I think if I was him, I would want to know. Well, why are you guys? It's an embarrassing fucking moment. It could have happened to anybody. In all seriousness, but that's what I take, and I'm glad everyone's having fun with it. I'm glad he's okay because it could have just been so much worse. But just from a performer standpoint, and you got that's what goes through my mind.
That makes sense. It's actually a really good point about it.
Yeah.
What was really interesting? Did you hear the whole thing with in the Wall Street Journal? They were covering this. Apparently, while they were doing a promotion for the show, they showed a clip of like a normal WWE show, but there was the normal divas or women's wrestlers and scantily clad women, and they actually cut the feed from the state TV, and Saudi Arabia actually issued an apology nationwide for this happening.
I did not know that. That's
it literally just got posted about an hour ago in the Wall Street Journal.
I wonder. So how did that make? I mean, obviously, did they have rules in place? Before the show started, the WWE that was a WWE call to do that, or
it just looked like I said it was their normal promotional video. And I guess no one really paid attention that the video happened to have a clip of some women wrestling or something like that. It was just somebody bonehead put it up on the screen during the show, and
Ooh, again, that there's so many pieces into running a business of that size, and you just would think. That's one of the big things going over there. I'm sure it was a mistake but you wonder how there's mistakes like that happen all the time and stuff. But again, when you have it's whoever's mistake that was, I'm sure there will be repercussions if it is something that is. It seems like the Saudi Arabia, it's very serious to them. So. I don't know. Again, just mistakes would happen there all the time, and you have so many moving parts. It is hard all the time to keep everything in. Like Vince, there's no way he knows what's going on every level there because it's tough. But you hope that you have the right people in charge to do their jobs, and sometimes it doesn't always happen that way. But I don't know whose mistake that would be. I would imagine Kevin Dunn would have something but he would oversee that. But again, if he delegates duties to other people and whatnot, it could have just been it fell under the cracks and nobody saw it. So, but I'm sure that it's as long as they issued an apology and it'll be water under the bridge.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Like I said, just it came out like that. It was covered in the Wall Street Journal. You don't expect to see a Wall Street Journal doing an article about WF in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, no, I think too though that from a business standpoint for them. This obviously is largely about money, and that's what the businesses do. They make business deals to make themselves money. But I think they are taking a good angle with it as far as I think it's opening the door to, and they even mentioned it as the country progresses and evolves, that over the course of this 10-year deal, I guarantee you, it's probably going to be sooner rather than later. They will be having a females wrestling match over there and have the women there, and it will be a huge deal, and there'll be even more money at stake with everything. So I think to plant those seeds now, and this is just going to be straight money for them for the next 10 years. So that from a business standpoint, that's getting deals like this in place. And for the boys, it's good. I'm sure this is going to be a great payday. Which they've been known to give good paydays on things, especially if this is anywhere near what they're reporting. It would make it worth it to everybody. So everyone will be happy.
It makes sense, especially if they're going to cut back on the pay-per-views because, they're no longer doing the split pay-per-views. So instead of having, 16 pay-per-views a year, they're cutting down. So, you do a couple of shows like this, which aren't necessarily the same audience, the same place. You probably, definitely see some good paydays for the guys. So
absolutely. And again, you do these long shows and put them on the network only, and it got more guys paydays too. So it's not a bad thing.
Speaking of, we were talking about Batista. Apparently, it came out today. He did an interview with fan radio. I guess it's a fan in New York that he was supposed to be Ronda Rousey's partner at a WrestleMania.
Really?
But what happened was they reached out to him, and this was his comment. This is all insider stuff and stuff. I usually don't share it. I'm kind of old school kayfabe that way. But they reached out to me early this year to possibly come back and do the thing with Ronda Rousey. I said that I'd be willing to do it only if we tease something for me and Hunter to do at WrestleMania next year. And they said, yeah, that'd be great. I love that idea. I said, well, I'll come back a few times during the year. We'll tease it. They'll work it and we'll milk it. We'll go to Mania, me and Hunter next year. I love the idea. Let's do it. So we literally talked for like 3 weeks and they stopped calling me. I said, I texted Hunter. I was like, hey, man, I don't know if you put any more thought into what's going on. I'm excited about the possibilities. I literally never heard back from them. They just stopped talking to me about it. I don't know what else I could do to try. I want to end my career the right way. I'm faithful and loyal to WWE. I'm proud of being from there, and I want to do good business with them. But they don't make it easy. They just don't make it easy for me. He also pointed out that next year he's turning 50, and he wanted that to be his last year. He said, I feel great. Physically, I'm in great shape. I never let up on that, but I don't want to be the old guy in the ring, and I don't want to save my welcome. That's why I end my career the right way, and next year will be the last opportunity. So if we can't make something happen by next year, I guess I'm just going to officially hang it up.
Yeah, that's I don't know. It sucks that there's communication, and then like that's just the way things run there, where like you hear this time and time again. Like he says, like he seems to have a decent relationship with them, and he obviously came back the other time, and I know he's been very outspoken as far as wanting to work with Hunter, or that to be his final program because of their history, and it makes perfect sense. I just don't I don't know if that's something Hunter doesn't want to do, or if plans, or they kind of have an idea where they're going this year and the next year, and that's not the match he's eyeing for himself. Obviously, Hunter's getting older too. He looks great still.
Sure.
He's not wrestling regularly. That's not easy. I'm sure he feels it every time he gets in that ring and performs, the several times a year, whatever that amount is, a handful of times. And he's had his fair share of injuries over the years. So, and I don't know if that's something he feels, that maybe that matchup doesn't sit well at this point in time with him. I don't know. But he would think that they would just like, look, they would call him back. This isn't happening. We don't see this matchup. We could do something else, but it's not going to be this. It's not going to be Hunter. But to just not like call back, it sucks. I understand his frustrations completely on that, because he was such a big part of the WWE there and figured in heavily, back when him and Cena were kind of running things on the shows, and they were the two guys, and it's and I think he's done extremely well for himself leaving WWE and making it in the acting world. That is no easy task. And he was never the most like outspoken guy or charismatic guy, even though I loved him. I loved everything that he brought to the table, and from a wrestling standpoint, he a larger than life character. But to then go in and have success doing movies on his own, that you got to tip your cap to him. So you would think it would be great cross promotion no matter what to bring a guy back. He's not The Rock as far as the level of movies he's doing right now, but I think
Sure.
he has had huge success. He's massive success.
He's in Infinity War playing Drax. He has a pretty big role in that. So,
Absolutely, yeah.
Just the timing alone, they could have capitalized, you think?
Yeah, so I just don't know. I don't know what you've heard me say my piece on things. You've heard guys like Punk talk about movie things. Mm-hmm. It's weird. They sometimes like they have a handful of guys they will use to do movie stuff, and like nobody else, even if they get suggested by the producer, nope, you don't even hear about it. And it's weird. I know he was one of those. I never had any. I know he had ambitions. I actually saw a thing on Steve Harvey with him the other day, a clip where he was talking about that, and he was just never quite afforded those opportunities like John was and other things. So I don't know. It's just, you can't, there's no rhyme or reason to things. You would think he would be welcomed back in open arms, because I think a guy like him can be brought in, heel or baby, depending on how the crowd chooses to accept him. They adapted and evolved it last time when the crowd wanted to boo him. I like him as a heel. I think he's a great heel, especially when he left that first time. I thought he was hitting all his strides and firing on all cylinders. And it's, yeah, we gotta have to wait and see. I mean, I definitely think you could bring him back in some way, shape, or form. And I think you need to do it soon too, because when you 50, you start getting up there. The wrestling, you feel like much sooner than that. So you got to do something eventually while the guy could still go. Because I think he can.
Yeah.
I'm positive he can. So.
We actually didn't talk about this last week. We had a couple more NXT call-ups for SmackDown. Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, and Killian Dane of Sanity, and Andrade Cien Almost came up. I think if used well, Sanity could have a hell of an impact on the main roster. I would love to see something between Woken Matt and Sanity. It was a little surprising they didn't bring up Nikki Cross, but the more I thought about it, the NXT Women's Division is a little light in terms of big names, so they might have just kept her down there like they did with Bayley a couple years ago to kind of let the Women's Division gain a little traction before jumping up their big name. Andrade Cien Almost, I thought he had a bit of a slow start in NXT. Over the last few months, he had some really great matches with guys like Johnny Gargano and things like that.
Yeah.
Just I'm really curious to see what he could do on SmackDown. I think once again, though, I have to point out they keep calling up a lot of people. It just feels like they're getting very top heavy. So you just hope everyone gets a good spotlight, or you have a lot of wasted talent.
That's the tough thing. I didn't know anything about him and I remember seeing him when it was his first NXT takeover match, and I go, okay, the guy obviously can go, but you just like from a character standpoint and seeing, I think having him the girl, what's her name?
I have just had it written down. Hold on one second.
Is it Vega?
I forgot it too, sir. Yeah, Zelina Vega.
Yeah. But I remember I knew her before from when she was on the Independents.
Yep.
What was her? Do you know her other name? I can't remember to say.
Let me look her real quick. Hold on. I'm playing Asian Joe right now. Hold on one second.
my new tech guy. It's driving me crazy because it's.
Oh, Rosita. She was Rosita in TNA. That's right.
Yeah, but what was her? Is Thea Trinidad? Sorry, I knew that was her real name is Thea Trinidad, right?
Yeah.
Or Thea, but she. I like them together. I saw that last NXT Takeover match they had, and where they used her throughout the match, and they just. I was like, okay, I get it. Like I liked it, and if they're used in a good fashion up there, I think they could do pretty well. I think he'll be a really good heel with her. She knows what she's doing, and she's been in the business for a bit. So, but again, when you have this many people, it's definitely, and again, guys that have been there, that's a tough thing too. When you're there and you see them bringing up other people, and they'll start and they give the other people that 4 to 6 month push of. And sometimes it doesn't even last that long. We saw with the Ascension that didn't even fucking last after one pay-per-view, which is weird. They put them over on DX, and then it's just. But it could happen to anybody, And it's interesting times when they bring up a group of people like that, because they're going to obviously try to get the majority of them over early, and then you just for some reason, even if somebody seems to be doing well, sometimes the plans just stop and. You've heard Jericho talk about it, where things just change constantly, and it really is. It can drive you crazy with all that, and you'll get texts in the morning from your writers. I used to hate getting texts from the writers because they would tell you creative for the day, and sometimes it would be amazing, great news, and then by the time the show started, it was the complete opposite. And you could go from looking like $1 million to being in a really shitty situation as far as. It's just timing of different ways, and you always got to do business and do things. It's always give and take. But it just the change and the emotional roller coaster, it's just like it could be frustrating at different times up there because you just never know. You could be just on a tear and things are going great, and you there's no way they're gonna mess this up, and then fucking you see creative for the day, and you're like, God damn it, whose fucking idea was this? And so when you bring up people like that, you can end up on the opposite end of that pretty quickly. And that's where you got to know how to be a business person. And again, you never have to go and change finishes, but you got to know when you think you're not being used good enough for a while. You got to know when you got to get out of that. And it's a tough thing for a lot of guys there, especially when you have a wife and kids and it's a paycheck. You don't want to be too outspoken. And there's a lot that goes into this from a mentality standpoint. But whenever they bring up a group of people like this, it's all kind of just luck of the draw because most of them don't know that yet when they get up there. as far as, you got to kind of learn that as you're there and be put through the ringer a little bit to know when to kind of, like, oh, this isn't going well. How do I get out of this? And you got to learn to start forming relationships. And sometimes people just don't like you, and you don't know why they don't like you. And people are shitting on you in the meetings, and it happens to a lot. And it's you got to know how to like stay above water. I like to say you never want to drown, because once you drown, you're fucking done. But you can get your head dunked under a few times, and you got to fight and know when to fucking come up for air. And as long as you can do that, you can prolong your career. So.
It's weird because you think about Drew McIntyre. They brought him up, and then I love Dolph. I love Drew McIntyre, but now they partnered up as a tag team. They call him the Show, and it's like it doesn't seem like a good use of either of these guys. I mean, Drew, when he was doing the Indies run as Drew Galloway, he made a really good name for himself, made some waves, and even NXT he looked like he was going to have something. And then they pop up to the main roster, and it's just like, okay, now we're going to dump you in a tag team with Dolph, and it seems a really dumb use for either of those guys.
So I think this is going to be. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I love Dolph. He's one of my good friends, and Drew's a great guy, and I've known him for years, and I always enjoy when I run into him. I ran into him at WrestleMania right before he was going back, and I was getting ready to leave a couple years ago, and he was just telling me how great everything was on the independents, and it was good to hear that, and I've had a great experience, and everything he said was the truth, But it kind of looked like he was going to be groomed to have a big singles run again, or to kind of redeem things from the past. And the injury was unfortunate that he suffered. But sometimes you just get put together. But these two guys have known each other for so long, and I haven't seen them together, but I saw a picture. It looked like they had similar ring attire. Did they, or have they?
Yeah. So they look like a tag team.
Yeah. So I think this is going to be one of those deals. It might be one of those things where they don't really know what the fuck to do with them yet. But these two guys will always go out there and work their asses off, and they're gonna go like it's like Cesaro and Sheamus. Cesaro's been teamed up with how many guys? Really. He's and everyone's like, well, we want to see him on his own, but he keeps getting paired up with guys, but they always make the most of it. And I think him and Sheamus are a great example of two guys. They're foreigners, but they're extremely different, but they came together, they embraced the tag team thing, and they have similar outfits. They created a new identities for themselves through the tag team that were different from their singles identities while still maintaining their single identity. I think they've done a great job at that, and I think these two guys are going to do the same thing, where they're going to go above and beyond, and they're going to invest. Dolph's always invested in his ring gear. Drew invest in his ring gear. I think they'll find a way to stand out, even if they're not necessarily being given maybe a prime opportunity. But I think with Drew, Hunter seems to have changed his tune on him from the past, and I don't know what happened with that, but I think that they might be all right for a while, and if they make the most of everything, they could get some steam together, and hopefully I take it they're heels?
Yeah. Yep.
So I think if they could, if they're given some ample mic time and allowed to get some heat, I think they will. So, and it's, again, you got to sometimes take whatever opportunity you're given and try to just make the most of it. And, I always said, like with Ryback, with me and Curtis Axel, it is very discouraging at times because we wouldn't get a ring entrance at times, and we would do so many backstage things that never saw the time of day that occasionally would get put on. We would do them, and they wouldn't even air on WWE.com oftentimes, and when they were supposed to. And I thought I did some of my most entertaining stuff with him on all that. And we used to have the writers. Little guy, get off of that dog chewing on my camera pod. I have them in here in the office with me, keeping babysitting them right now, so they're not in their cages. But it wasn't. We necessarily weren't given a lot of opportunities. But we were used a lot, and we did some pre-show stuff. We did some pay-per-view stuff, and but it wasn't a featured spot. And so I think it's too early to say what way this is gonna go for McIntyre and Dolph. I just know they're gonna put everything into it on their end.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love those two guys. So I just want to see them actually get used well. And like I said, hopefully you're right. I mean, like I said, you're right. When you think of Sheamus and Cesaro as the bar, I mean, they've really managed to make that work. So
They've made much more of that than I think it was ever supposed to ever have. So,
without a doubt.
and it's because they put everything into it and they're great workers. So it's and again, the tag team division is a little bit different. It's there's only so many tag teams too, and over tag teams. So again, you create a unique niche for yourself, and you could be used in spots quite frequently. And so even though if it's not the main spot, but I hope they get used well, Drew and Dolph. They're both extreme. They're great human beings, and they're extremely talented. So
One thing that was interesting, they announced a new Hardy Boys DVD, and apparently the W is actually partnering with Impact to release it. They're getting Impact footage. So I thought it was really cool just because you have guys like Kurt Angle or Sting, and I would love to see them be able to do more of these DVDs where you have your WCW stuff, your WWE stuff, some Impact stuff, and I also think it's just cool to see these guys working together in some capacity, even if it's just small, to
what's that?
even if it's just working together in some small capacities to.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. That's I mean, I don't know what using the Impact name and stuff. I don't know what Impact situation is or whatnot, but I think WWE just has such control over everything now.
Oh yeah,
it's and they're getting so they can never have enough footage for the WWE Network. So and they could probably get this stuff, and they're in a position to get stuff at a favorable cost for themselves, I would imagine, with most of these companies, with how strong the brand is. So the more content they have, and it's great to feature. If they feature other promotions and they can get a little buzz with it too, then that's not a bad thing just for wrestling in general.
I saw a really cool story from Jim Ross this week. He called Ronda Rousey's debut the most impactful ever. I thought Ronda's debut was the most impactful wrestling debut I've seen in my 40-plus year career. If you look at her skill set experience-wise, for this genre in pro wrestling, it was almost non-existent. But she had so much pressure on her, the hype was amazing. The expectations were mixed. Some die-hard wrestling fans didn't even like her being there, which is absolutely insane. So I was absolutely blown away by what she did and how she executed. She looked like an athlete. We all know she's an athlete. She's a winner. Now look, some will say, well, she lost her last 2 matches. Those guys can kiss my ass. How's that? Come on, she's won a lot of fights, guys. You know what I mean? She's a winner. She goes to the Olympics and medals. She's a winner. So I knew that she was not going to drop the ball. It's WrestleMania. If you're an MMA fan, then you say, well, what does it matter? It's still pro wrestling. There was almost 80,000 people there. She had so much pressure at this massive event. It would have been easy for her to slip the bit and not have a great outing. If she continues to train as diligently, as ferociously as she's been, the sky's the limit for her. She's going to be really, really good. I just thought that was pretty cool. I mean, JR's been in the business for 40 years. He was head of talent for WWE for so long. For him to make that statement, that he thought this was the best debut ever is a hell of a endorsement for her.
Absolutely. She had a lot of pressure on her, and even rehearsing that match for as long as they did, because I'm sure they did, but that for her debut, I thought she couldn't have done any better, essentially. And it was from just her facials and from a character standpoint, I think there was a lot of pressure and a lot of eyeballs on her for her first match, and that's why he's saying that, and that it was because he knows from being in that system as long as has been and is still that is a high pressure situation, and it's again you got people that. Everybody just likes to bitch and moan. And she lost her last 2 fights. She is a champion. That is the most competitive industry, professional fighting, and anybody could beat anybody on any given day. Is it the ideal situation she wanted to lose her last 2 fights? No. But she very well could have stuck around if she chose to and probably redeemed herself and been a champion once again had she wanted to do that. She's always loved professional wrestling and had it. When you get to the top of in any profession, and I talk about it in my Wake Up It's Feeding Time book, the power of being hungry. It's a very real thing. Once you become a champion or you reach elite status, she did things no other woman had necessarily done, and it had drawn a lot of attention for females all around the world, and was in the spotlight constantly, and fought at a championship level for a good amount of time and had a lot of success. That anybody could be beaten at any time, but you sometimes lose a little bit of that hunger that you once had, because when you get a certain level of money and comfort and security, it changes the human mind. Because fighting, nobody really wants to fight. A lot of these people get into fighting because they don't have money, and it's a way to earn a living, they come from a really tough background, and everyone's different on that end, and it's extremely tough to remain hungry at a top level when you have everybody coming for you. And to complain that she lost her last two matches are just like people that have no idea about that whatsoever. And I think Jim is spot on as always. I've enjoyed every conversation I've ever had with him, and he's an extremely insightful and intelligent man in not only wrestling but in life. So I think again he's spot on all that.
I put together a section this week called "This Week in Creepy Wrestling Fans." It was WWE files restraining order against the fan who smeared poop on the WWE Performance Center. Ugh. In 2015, a series of bizarre incidents occurred as Armando Alejandro Montalvo started harassing people at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. In addition to appearing at the Performance Center wearing wrestling costumes and threatening staffers, he was also filmed begging professionals to train him, along with spouting other unwelcome remarks. In August 2015, he was apprehended by the Orlando police after being called by WWE to get him off the premises due to his obsession with one of the female workers. Instead of complying, police stated that Montalvo came to the WWE facility on August 31st, started a commotion, and was encountered by armed deputies. At some point, Montalvo charged one of the deputies, and he was shot after trying to close in on the deputy.
Oh, my God.
It gets better. TMZ is now reporting that the WWE has filed a restraining order due to threats from Montalvo resurfacing on social media. According to the court documents, Montalvo smeared his own feces all over the wall at the WWE Performance Center in July of 2015, a month before the encounter with the police. He once again appeared at the Performance Center in March of 2018, harassing employees. WWE also learned that Montalvo was posting threats on social media and threatening to use his semen in a biological attack. On April 4th, he posted a video saying, "Lord, forgive me for what I'm about to do. I know I'm 100% real with it, and every single wrestler is going to be saying their prayers by the time it's all said and done. Because you want to know why? I'm a wild man." Yeah.
I don't even want to mention anything about him. I hope when somebody talks like that in this day and age, in 2018, with a lot of the things that we have seen happen in the different shootings and that is the type of guy that you'll go back and look and you'll say, well, you have all these examples showing a mentally unstable human being. A guy like that should not be allowed in public. He should be behind bars somewhere or in a facility with a white jacket on and being sedated. There's no reasoning with a human being that you can already, just based off of everything you've just said, that's ridiculous. Every single bit of that is ridiculous. You are not reasoning with a normal human being at that. So I hope that is taken serious, because what's going on with him now? Do they say, is he what the situation is?
On April 4th is when they posted it. They said the last thing they said in the story was that WWE filed a restraining order, and that's sort of where the story ended. So I haven't heard anything else. So hopefully, like I said,
that's one of those things that restraining order is not. That means nothing to a human being like that.
Correct. If you're that crazy, without doubt.
They laugh at that. I don't know, man. I just think that's. I would hope you don't know when you're dealing with a human being like that what is going through that man's mind if he's issuing warnings to people and he's clearly telling you that he's not right in the head. You can't sit back and just like, oh, he's just going to listen to this restraining order. That's hopefully somebody that can do something to further make sure that there's more protection for. Again, if I was at the Performance Center, I'd be worried. I wouldn't want to walk into my car, and not just as far as you don't know when you're dealing with that kind of human being, the things he's already done. It's stupid not to take that seriously in 2018.
Yeah, I totally agree. The other story wasn't quite that extreme. It was just kind of more funny. On Raw, when Bayley was coming down to the ring, she went to give one of her female fans, one of the little girls in the audience, a hug. And this other guy tried to lean in for a hug, and Bayley sort of ignored him while she was hugging the little girl. And the guy's just standing there with his arms out. It was just like, it was very creepy and awkward. But then Sasha posted a little thing, Bayley hates her fans, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, that's creepy. I'm sure she gets. Can you imagine how much because that's her kind of her character a little bit, is she likes hugging. So how many
Yeah.
guys have like, hey Bailey, can I have a hug? I'm sure she's ended up hugging a lot more guys than she anticipated. Uh, the kids are that it's meant for the kids. So,
Yeah, of
but I have a
course.
feeling she's ended up hugging a lot more guys than she had anticipated.
Yeah, when you see the adult fans with the purple, adult male fans with the purple "I'm a hugger" shirt on, I was like, that's just weird, dude.
I'm not gonna lie, Mike. Ace, I think the same thing when I see a grown up in that shirt. If it's a guy, every time. I'm not because it doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, it's you do a double take and you don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what is. I don't like. I can't tell you specifically what goes through my mind, but I just know it's not comfortable. Like there's just something. It doesn't sit right, and I don't know why that is. It just feels like that's a kid's shirt and like a little girl's shirt. But again, everyone's different, so everyone's entitled to their thing. But I know where you're coming from on that.
Yeah, we had two last stories I want to talk about. Apparently, New Japan's going to return to the United States this summer. They're doing a show on July 7th at the Cow Palace. They had successful events last year in Los Angeles, but they wanted a bigger building, so Cow Palace holds 10,000 strong. A lot of people were calling Jericho and Kenny Omega's match last year the match of the year, so I think it's a good idea for NJPW to be coming back to America. The Cow Palace is kind of legendary. I remember a lot of old WWF did a lot of shows back in there in the 80s. I actually didn't know it was still open. They're still doing wrestling shows, but it was kind of cool, see New Japan do respecting that history and kind of, again, trying to get that foothold in America. Maybe get some real competition going,
Yeah, no, that's definitely that seems like that's going to be a pretty big show then for them. It holds 10,000, you said?
Yeah, yep.
So yeah, that would be. I know. I'm looking forward to. Again, I'm feeling pretty good. I've still got a little ways to go, but I think I'm gonna have some of my some really interesting matchups coming up in the next year. The better my body keeps getting. I know when I go over to Australia, I believe I'm penciled in to be. I believe we're getting it all coordinated here this upcoming week before I head over to Australia. Doing 2 matches for Rock and Roll Wrestling and then 3 for this promotion AWF, and I'll have about 4 or 5 days off in between over there. But I believe it's with some top like Dalton Castle. I don't know if I'm wrestling him specifically. There's several big names over there as far as independent names of talented performers that I believe it is going to be pretty good matchups for me. So now that I've had a 2-year run and done a lot of these independent shows, it's been great. But I'm looking forward to now that my body is slowly coming back around here, where I can push myself a little more, and I still got a ways to go. But I kind of can see here there's going to be some bigger matchups for me in the upcoming year with some of these guys, and it'd be nice to have a relationship with some of these companies but again it would be nice to do stuff over here just timing wise, not being away from home for so long. But that's great for them, for New Japan, and for them if they can come over here and draw well. Again, that's just great for professional wrestlers in general. It's great for the wrestling community, and the more places guys can go and make better paydays, it's better for everybody. Because this is a tough business, and it's a tough business to make a lot of money in. So to be able to wrestle in front of large crowds, it's so much more enjoyable than Don't get me wrong, wrestling in front of smaller crowds, I have great enjoyment in that. But the energy when there's more people, it's just every wrestler needs to feel that. And because it's an experience, it's truly an adrenaline rush.
And the last thing we got was apparently ITV, which is sort of a BBC, like a British broadcasting network in Britain, of course. They've announced they're doing a new wrestling series, and it's starring Grado. They commissioned a new 10-part wrestling series from ITV Studio Entertainment. World of Sport Wrestling will be jam-packed with the UK's top names in the sport, competing a fun-filled evening of family sports entertainment. Recorded in front of live audience at the studios in Norwich, fans will get to see some of the finest pro wrestlers compete in various intense bouts. At the end of each show, only one will get to take home the coveted WOS Wrestling Championship belt. They had a picture. I didn't recognize a lot of the guys, but there was Grado front and center, and I just like Grado a lot. So
I do too.
And like we're saying about New Japan, I think it's good. We're getting a lot of high-profile wrestling outside of WWE, and I just think it's cool that wrestling seems to be matter again. I mean, MLW is doing their stuff on BN. You got Lucha Underground. You got Impact, ROH. New Japan.
Yep.
So I think there's a lot of things going on in wrestling right now. So
There's a lot of other places. I think the key is going to be, and one, congratulations to Grado for being getting featured. I enjoyed my experience wrestling him, and he seems like a really really good guy. And I know he gets a lot of big gigs over there in Scotland and different deals and TV type stuff. So he's a hell of a personality. But it'll be interesting to see what if any of these promotions could jump up and be a clear number two, because I don't think we have. I feel like there's not a clear number two. As far,
yeah, we talked about that a couple weeks ago.
yeah, I feel like there's a lot of others, and they're all kind of unique in their own way, but it doesn't feel like a number two yet. And I don't know. That's just from looking from my position, but I think part of that is, though, the WWE is just so strong that it's really really hard to be number two, because you don't really, and it's so I think that's going to be to me that's going to be the interesting. I would like there to be a number two, a number three, a number four, in really, I think a big part of that is TV deals. Even though I think with social media and online streaming, and that's definitely grown, but TV is still a major player in being on a major network. So,
I mean, you're not going to get the casual viewers. I mean, the reason WWE and WCW were successful in the back of the day was you had non-wrestling fans willing to check it out. I mean, these indie companies are doing great for wrestling fans, but no one's going to be, like I said, having things on channels like El Rey or BN, which most wrestling camps can't find easily. No. You're not going to accidentally stumble across wrestling,
No, that's what I was saying. Like with Impact Wrestling, I feel like if they could get a major TV deal, it would help tremendously. And then I think you bring some big names over, and that people recognize, and I think you're off and running. But again, and there's a lot more that goes into it than that. I think you got to have merchandising in place, and it's. I think until a company, and again, having the funds to do that, and it's a hell of an investment. But if you do it right and you have the right people in place, it could. WWE has shown it could be highly profitable. But again, this has taken them years and years and years of trial and error and different things to learn how to make money in different ways besides just the wrestling too. Because I think there is only so much you can make with wrestling. And I think you got to have other things in place too. And a lot of these companies are just wrestling. And I think you hit the nail on the head. You're going to have these hardcore fans that watch, and the people that watch online, and that, there's only so many of them. The casual viewers are where you get to the next level. And it is a very real thing. And there's many more families and kids out there than hardcore wrestling fans. And that's not like a good thing or a bad thing. That's just the truth of the matter. And I think it's in WWE has a firm grip of that, or they did. They have even more in the past. I think they've loosened that up over the years here and lost quite a bit of them. But for the fact of the matter is they still have the major TV deal in place and are exposed to more of them than any of these other promotions. So I think that will be an interesting thing for these promotions to get a TV deal with something that you don't have to search out. That is just there as you're flipping through the channels, and in a prime time or at a decent time at least, where you got, Mrs. Joe and Jane Smith and their family sitting at home, flipping through the channels, and what's that? Oh, that's wrestling. Oh, that looked pretty cool. That's what you need to get. And that's what you got to get eyeballs on. And so I don't know. It should be an interesting year. Nonetheless, I think pro wrestling is at a very unique time where it can go one way or the other, and hopefully it goes the way where it benefits the wrestlers, and some of these other promotions step above and beyond and can kind of break through that glass ceiling for wrestling promotions and become the big number 2 and number 3 again.
Yeah, it's funny when you say WWE, because I was watching when Bruce and Conrad were doing the network show this week. They were talking about the Mega Powers.
How's that been, by the way?
Oh, excellent. They did a really cool, it's been good. It's been huge numbers. The first episode was a little shaky in terms of quality, but in terms of the video quality, the second episode was great. But one thing they were talking about, and I kind of forgot this because it's one of the things that got me into wrestling, was Saturday Night Main Event and Friday Night Main Event, where you had shows on Friday night,
Yeah.
on NBC. One of them had like 23 million viewers. I mean, there was people watching wrestling. So it was definitely a different environment than where we are now,
Yeah, and you got to remember, like, kids who, like, with school and I think this is something for even WWE to still look at when they do things and for network specials is kids. A lot of kids they're off of school usually, Friday night, Saturday. That's when a lot of kids have sleepovers and they stay the night at their friend's house, and it just in general families people that have families, they're home on the weekends and stuff of that matter. Where if you occasionally run a big Friday or Saturday night show and put it on the network, I think it could do huge numbers if you can get that, and it might help get more casual people to get to subscribe to the network and help get those numbers up too. But you gotta, I think their WWE's always been good. They kind of have their finger on the pulse on a lot of that. But it'll be interesting to see if they do more stuff on the network here as time goes on to try to capitalize and keep growing the network numbers, because it feels like they're kind of stuck every year. Like they get a little bit. They do the free giveaways for Mania, and then, then the numbers kind of come back down. They're always kind of around the same by the end of the year. They maybe slightly up, but I know it's not quite what they anticipated as far as where they thought it would be by now. But you got to try to get those casual people to subscribe and to stick around. So,
it was weird because when you're watching the pre-show for WrestleMania, one thing I noticed was they kept talking about get the network now and get WrestleMania free. It was a very different model than in the past, where it's like, okay, call your cable company, put maybe $45 for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But they didn't even say it. They weren't even talking about the $9.99 though. They kept going out of the way to mention WrestleMania is free if you're a new subscriber. I thought it was just very interesting that the model's very different from where it was. But like I said, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know where it goes from here.
I was talking to one of my other buddies about this, and he was telling me actually they're doing a lot of things where I guess you get 3 months for something for like 99 cents, or they run all these promotions all the time. So you're not actually getting, even with whatever the number is, at 1.6 million or 1.7 million subscribers, of those 1.6 or 7, you have a lot of people not paying full price.
Yeah, correct.
And you have people that are canceling, and then people that are, how many people are, I know they really probably need to get something in place to be able to track people creating an account, getting 3 months. I know they have deals, it might be 3 months for $9.99, so you're only paying $3 something a month or something like that. That's one of the promotions I believe he was telling me about. So how many people though do you have doing that, then canceling, and then just, using a different email and then doing it all over again, another promotion? And I think that's a very real problem they need to eventually address if they can, just for their own end. But I don't know. There's been a lot of promotions since the network has started, and it's so much cheaper than what pay-per-views used to cost. You would think that, but again, I think you got to get that casual audience. And I think that's a hard sell for whatever reason. And it's a harder sell than people just paying a one-time fee, $50-$60 for a pay-per-view, $40 for a pay-per-view. I don't know what it is, but to get people to commit long-term even to a low number. And again, I contribute a lot of that too. Life is expensive, and people have the Netflix accounts and Hulu accounts and Vudu accounts and all these different things where they're like, I don't want to add another $10 a month. We're already in over our head. And that's kind of an issue. So I don't know what the fix is on it, but I know they're trying. They're definitely, it's not a lack of effort. That's for damn sure. I mean, they're giving it away for free more times than not. So I think they'll eventually figure it out. I don't know if they have yet, but they're going to keep throwing stuff against the wall until it sticks. So.
All right, that's it for me tonight.
Good deal. Well, Ace, I appreciate you taking the call tonight. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take a break. I'm going to call Asian Joe. He actually sent me a message here saying his car was being fixed as we speak. So, yeah, well, I'm going to Skype in with him, though, because I got to get the show off to the editor here to get back on track. So we're out Monday morning once again to get on a little bit of a regular schedule here. But thank you very much, Ace, and I'll be speaking with you next week.
Sounds good, brother. Talk to you soon.
Take care, bud. Bye. We'll be right back after these messages, guys. Support for today's show comes from Zeebo. Zeebo, happy Z spelled backwards, is more than a snoring device. with a patented tongue strap that's designed to eliminate snoring with 2 key features. Zeepa is an American-made boil and bite mouthguard that is a game changer in the bedroom. While other snoring devices have only one feature, they either advance the lower jaw or stabilize the tongue, Zeepa does both. There are no other snoring devices like this in the world. Not to mention, the cost is less than $100, and since Zeepa custom molds to your mouth, it's super comfortable. Plus, it's been cleared by the FDA as safe and effective. But if you aren't happy with the product, you can return it with 90 days for a full refund. It's no surprise that Zeepa has 5-star customer service and strives to maintain the highest reviews and ratings. Personally, we have gotten a Zeepa. I have given it to Asian Joe. As you know, listening to the show, I have sleep apnea. So for me, and having my nose fixed last year, the sleep apnea machine is something that I got to use whenever I am sleeping. But Asian Joe actually does have a snoring problem. He has been given the Zeepa, and we are going to report next week on the show and actually talk about what results he has had from using this, because it's truly, in talking with the people at Zeepa, there's nothing like this on the market. So if you want to try Zeepa and start enjoying happy Z's every night, for your sake and the sake of the people sleeping near you, just go to Zeepa.com to learn more. That's spelled ZYPPAH.com to learn more, and use my code BIGGUY for free shipping. That's Zeepa.com, code BIGGUY for free shipping. All right, we are back, and I said we were going to call Asian Joe. I get a text when I get off the phone when I got done with our man Ace, and Asian Joe, a miracle has taken place. His car was able to get fixed, and he is actually here live in studio.
Yes, I am. I went from carless to Asian driving Joe. So, but yeah, it was pretty dicey when your serpentine belt to your engine.
I explained that to them. Your belt was shredded, and you lost your power steering.
It was pretty scary, but luckily I was able to drive it safely and then parked it. And then I actually hit up the same mechanic that took forever to get my AC done. He actually showed up with the part and installed it, and is like, "Holy shit, I got my car back."
What do you think he messed up next now? This is his. I feel like this is his game. It's one thing he does something subtle where, like, in 2 weeks, there's going to be another issue. Or is the car just nearing the end?
I think, the car is nearing its end. I'm just trying to prolong it.
Yeah. You're keeping it on life support.
It is. I mean, look, the check engine light is not on. So as long as the check engine light is not on,
that's good.
That's my indicator.
In the age, your car could say 230,000 miles in car years. How old is your car in human years? If it's
probably like 70, 80 years old.
That's when problems.
But it's a 2000. It's a 2004. So I mean, there's a Mazda 6.
Yeah,
it works. I had a few. Still going. So
these problems aren't nothing major yet. These are all small things.
But I think my next one is the wheel bearings. It started making noises right now. So
oh boy,
that's the next stage.
I wonder how many more episodes I'll get out of you before that.
I'm actually gonna go to an mechanic for that, like a certified.
I think
mechanic,
you should,
because I rather have it in my car.
That's one of the things you don't want to underpay on, maybe.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the other situation was my AC. So, AC can be pricey, and the guy says, I could do it for $300. Like, all right, do it. But
out here, we've said that, and if anyone out listening has been to Las Vegas in the summer, if you don't have air conditioning out here, you are my buddy in high school had his high school car, which I was telling you I had my high school car, my senior year, my Daewoo Lanos. But I'll tell you about that, the break story. But my buddy didn't have AC like his whole senior year, junior year.
God.
And was miserable.
It doesn't matter. I think he was single the entire time.
Yeah.
There's no girl would ever want to sit in his car.
And he would have you could have the window down, and you're just getting dry heat in your face. It is miserable. The car seats, everything is. Like I always, you got to have car seats in Vegas, like covers. Yeah. In the summer, even those are.
And steering wheels too.
Yeah. I have to have. I got the covers on all my vehicles, and like it's even still that first. It's almost like you got to. When it's at its absolute worst, when we get into like the 120 or like 115, I'll go turn my car on and put the air on and let
Yeah.
it sit and then wait 5 or 10 minutes and then go out there.
Right.
Especially, too, like with the dogs, you can't take them out during the
No.
day. Like the Frenchie and the little Boston Terrier.
You gotta wear like they gotta have like booties or
their
shoes.
eyes, like they can't even go out in the
Oh,
sun.
that's right.
It's like it's so hot.
Yeah.
And like I get a little poor Sophie, like she'll go out to go to the bathroom, but they don't even go outside. Like they like to go out early in the morning and lie in that morning sun.
Yeah.
And then they get in, and then they don't like to go out until
Oh
nighttime.
no, they're smart.
Yeah, it's. I feel bad for them, but like you can't walk them. You got to wait for the sun to be down too. You either got to walk.
Well,
them
even
early in
when the
morning.
sun goes down, the asphalt can
Still,
be
that's what I'm
really.
saying. You got to wait a bit
Yeah.
for it to like night. Like it has to be dark for like a couple hours usually, and then I'll take them.
Have you thought about like giving them shoes and stuff?
Yeah, just invest in more.
Or like booties and stuff like that?
I never have, but I mean, because I'm not going to walk them during the day anyways.
No.
Even in shoes, they can't. It's just so that's torture to a dog.
Yeah, that's true.
And so it's. But back to the story about my first car was a Daewoo Lanos, and you were telling me your power steering, and they make TVs.
Yes.
They also had a small run in the car business where they were like, "Fuck it, we're gonna make cars."
Yeah.
And so that my senior year, that was my parents got me a car, and they weren't expensive. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not like it's not. They're not the priciest cars,
No.
but it was a new car. It was the
Right,
coolest
yeah.
thing in the world
Yeah.
to me. Had a power button that I would hit to like on the freeway. You had to like hit the power button. It was like a four-cylinder.
When
but
it turns off the AC so you can actually go faster.
I don't even know, but I remember like one time like getting into like 90 something and feeling like the baddest motherfucker in my little Daewoo Lanos going down the strip. It was back before this place was fucking crowded.
Yeah.
You could actually go speeding on the strip
Oh,
and
yeah.
not get pulled over or worry about cars all over. And I remember I was going out all the way like towards California. And I
Oh
was
shit.
out on the south end of the strip still
Uh-huh.
and just flooring it and getting it to like 90 something. I was like, oh, this car's badass. It was amazed it didn't explode, but I was driving once and I was getting off the freeway and I went to push the brakes and it went straight to the floor. And I
fuck.
luckily was able to, I just immediately hit the emergency brake.
Yeah.
And the brake, luckily at the very end, there was still a little juice in the brake. Like it was able just
Yeah.
to slow it down enough to where everything.
Was there a car in front of you?
No, there was luckily
Oh, my
when
God.
getting off the exit, and it was just happened to just be clear.
Yeah.
And I was able to like slow down and get to the side of the road, and we got a mechanic out there to.
So was it like a brake line or something? Or?
yeah,
Oh,
the brake
yeah.
line, and that
Dang.
was scary. I was like, it's something you don't want to be. That's just one reason not to speed. Like
Yeah.
it's excessive rates.
Yeah,
where
I wasn't going that fast, but then I saw my freaking battery light went on, and it's like, well, this is not good. Either the alternator stopped working, or because I know my battery was working fine, but as soon as I made that turn, it's like I couldn't. It literally had to have Ryback strength to turn my steering wheel.
Yeah, no, that's
And
no
so it's
joke
like-
when the power steering goes out. That
yeah.
is-
And so, but luckily I was able to get to my friend's place and call my friend, and so, and then I thought the guys are going to show up a little bit late or like what you said, 3 days? It was like, I'll see you in 3
yeah,
days.
see
or
you in 3
something.
days in the car. You're just sitting there waiting for your
Yeah,
car.
so I was, I was going to Skype in the show from my friend's place, but
No,
I made
you're
it
like,
here.
I can make it in.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it's always better in person.
Yeah.
He goes, it was just like, the people are just falling off left and right on the show. The Phoenix, like, I don't know what the deal is. Like, I didn't even tell
Well, I
her
know.
about the show.
I'm pretty sure. Well, I think Phoenix was at the game.
Oh, I'm positive
Yeah,
she's at
she
the
was at
game.
the-
She's
at
at
the
every,
game.
she's
Nice
been to every
game.
game all year, I
Yeah,
think.
I think so.
So it's,
I gotta check out the score.
yeah, what is the score?
was
They won
over-
7-0, the Golden Knights,
Oh,
their
they
first.
destroyed.
It's amazing seeing in the airport now. There's just like gift shops with all night stuff,
Yeah.
and like everybody is on the bandwagon. Are
That's
they-
still tied 3-3 in the first.
Do you think we
overtime.
should send a Phoenix a text right now and just during a stressful point of the game, she's probably drunk. I'll text her right now. Hey, can you do a Dr. Phoenix segment right now?
Of course,
Just
not.
to try, just so everyone.
Oh, dude, she probably listens. She's been listening to the show. I'm sure.
You think?
I'm
I don't
sure
know.
she has.
She doesn't check to see when we're going to record anymore, so
I'm sure she has listened to the show to pass.
we're going to send Phoenix a text right now, just to see if we can. Hey, could you
She's gonna come over here and stab you in the
do
face.
a Dr. Phoenix right
She's
now?
definitely gonna stab me in the face.
What you up to? Question mark.
Yeah, let's see how quickly she responds.
I have a feeling it's.
I can see the middle finger. I can picture a middle finger towards you. Wait, are you including me in the text, or are you just?
No, it's just her.
It's
that
her?
way, yeah. That way, we'll see what kind of response I get from her.
Oh my God! So
she still could be a part of the show. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I built a studio, spent all this money.
I know she hasn't sat.
She hasn't even seen the room done.
Yeah, she hasn't seen the room.
She hasn't been here, and it's been probably 6 weeks.
Yeah,
I bet.
Yeah,
we were close to it. Because she did it. She didn't do the show for a couple weeks. She did a call-in once.
She did a call-in,
and then that was
a couple times. She did a call-in a couple times. And,
she eased her way out. No, but she's been busy with everything. But
so
I'm not going to pressure her to do the show anymore. If she wants to do it, she's more than welcome.
For sure. But wait, did you hit up Phil?
I did. I actually Bronson. Yeah.
Okay.
To get a third man in here, the 3-man gang.
Yeah.
We can.
Total sausage party.
Yeah, I think that's. I'm really excited to get the YouTube camera going. I just want to start. I want to start recording.
Yeah, dude.
I have the battery charged too in it, ready to go.
Actually,
I got a wide lens in there too to get all of us. Yeah. I'm so goddamn big.
But no, I mentioned in a couple episodes ago, Sadie Pop, who.
Oh yeah.
She oh my God, Ryback knows me now. And so I was like, hey, if you're in Vegas, you should definitely come on the show. And she's the type of girl that might get a Feed Me More tattoo.
You think? You think I could talk her into getting a Feed Me More tattoo?
I think so.
The more of those out there, the better.
I think it's going to probably.
Think she'd get it on her face?
No, I think she's going to be like some other parts of her body.
Sadie, I want you to get Feed Me More. Holy shit! What is that? A sign that I shouldn't be talking like that? My spring on my microphone just exploded.
Okay, it'd be fine.
Sadie Pop just caused the spring to explode. What was?
No, the spring to go. Let's leave it there.
Yeah. Fine. I'll fix it after the show. How the hell did that pop off?
That's crazy.
That's a sign from God not to talk about Sadie Pop. I was gonna say talk. Afraid I wasn't even touching it when it happened.
No, I'm like, wow.
I just exploded right there. Talk Sadie Pop into getting Feed Me More as a mustache tattoo.
Yeah, she's never going to get work ever again.
Ever again, yeah.
No, but
just trust me, Sadie. It's a good idea.
I actually gave her my phone number, and so.
Oh, did you now?
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
So
you're strictly professional for the show. Here's my number. Reach out if you ever want to come on.
If you ever want to come to a Ryback show, but if you want to hang out for a little bit,
I'll just see pictures of you guys at Sapphire on your thing, and like, what? Sadie was in town.
Yeah.
I thought you said she was going to be on the show.
I invited you. You didn't get my text.
No, I didn't, Joe.
Actually, after the, I say actually a lot. I noticed that, but
there's a lot of things if you listen back.
I know. I said that there's so many texts. You say fuck a lot.
Oh, that was last week.
Yeah, you said so.
There was a period, and I apologize because I never want to be where it's just the freedom of being able to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But that was like in my mood changes at times. For whatever reason, that.
But you were tired too.
Yeah.
That was too.
And I don't know. That was like my go-to. That was like me going and fucking
I say
turn
like
into that.
Actually a lot. You know.
I heard that segment of the show, and it was probably like 4 or 5 F-bombs all within a very short period.
Yeah.
And then I was like, please no more, and there was one more, and then there were no more after that.
Yeah.
But it was a stretch.
Yeah.
But throughout the whole show, I probably did it a couple other times.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
I hate. That's one of the things listening. You got to listen back though. And you could pick up on little things that you do that maybe you don't realize it.
Because I remember my old speech class. It's like, don't say don't say like, don't say the normal tics when you do like public speaking. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say too. But I noticed though for my show, I talk so much differently on this show than I do if I do interviews.
Oh really?
It's different. Like I don't know what it's just a mindset and knowing your audience, and this is more laid back and comfortable and me just being me. Mm-hmm. Whereas if I do an interview, it's more structured where they're asking questions and I know it's a little bit.
You have to think about what you're to say.
Yeah, and it's a little different. But you're going kind of on just questions and it's a different format. Whereas in this show, we're just kind of, I take notes and we hit our points that we want to talk about, but it's just more free. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's where I'm not concerned what's coming out of my mouth as far as dropping F-bombs, or, where I know if I do an interview, I'm not dropping F-bombs because I don't know what their audience, it's probably not as casual as this. So
for sure.
But
I was going to say, I was actually in Sapphire pool. Nicolette Shea was there, Victoria June.
Sounds like a good time.
It's definitely a good time. Apparently,
Have those
It's
girls
not-
just drinking all day out there?
Actually, I didn't. I don't drink. I don't
well,
drink.
Not you. You're smart.
But they.
Oh,
But
do you girls do that?
they
You
had
guys
a
do-
little. They had a little fruity drink.
Yeah, the fruity drinks are the best. They'll
Yes,
sneak up on them.
Of course.
Those bartenders don't make those things lightly.
So I want to give a shout. It was funny because Disco Inferno was there, and he was wearing. It was outside, but
I love the Disco
But he was
Inferno.
wearing.
What a life he lives.
He was wearing dress shirt, dress pants. It's like, dude, it's freaking 90 degrees out.
Well,
What are
he's
you doing?
probably working.
Yeah. Well, he was just hanging out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then, but I mean, obviously he's working. He works at nighttime, but he was just there.
They don't use him maybe for daytime stuff out there for no.
No, but he was just there, just hanging out, chilling, and you know.
Wow.
But Victoria June, I just met her. She has very large breasts,
Bazookas.
bazookas,
Yes.
and so the security guy, his name is Tiny. His nickname is Tiny, but he's not Tiny.
Okay.
So he's like, "Hey, I got some pasties," because it's not a topless. It's not a topless club for some reason. So he gives it to
So
Victoria.
they can have them out if they just have pasties on?
Yeah,
Oh.
they can have the nipples.
I could just have
they
I
can-
could
they-
just be
as
walking
long as-
around shirtless with pasties on.
Exactly. So they're walking around with this pasties on. You got to hide the nipples. And so Victoria comes up with me and it's like, "Hey, can you put these onto me?" It's like, "Sure. Where can
I
we?"
feel like that's teasing you.
Yeah, it's like, "Where can we put this?" It's like, "Oh, we can go to DJ." Like the Tiny goes, "You can go to DJ room and put it on." It's like, "Oh, okay." So we go to DJ booth. The DJ's right there, and it's like, so Victoria like popped open her his boobies.
Yeah.
She has very large areolas, and she picked the smallest pasties, butterfly pasties.
Oh my god.
And the reason why she picked those because it matches our outfit, and so it's like,
She was allowed to wear those? It was good enough?
as long as you hide the
You try, at
nipples,
least as long as you try.
yes. And so I just put them on. There might be some photos out on Instagram or Twitter, so there might be some questionable Instagram photos out there on Sapphire Day Club. So, but it was a very good time.
The things you could do here in Vegas, I have avoided that the majority of my life.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
surprised.
I've been gone. I was gone for so long too.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like, and then being back, and it's like just been everything has been craziness since I've been back off the road from WWE.
Yeah.
For the last 2 years going on. My dogs are whining, and I don't know why because I just walked them and.
Well, you just came in today.
Yeah, I got in today.
Oh.
I flew in from. I was in Regina, Canada.
Whoa.
I thought it was Regina, and when Regina, just like vagina.
Yes.
When I checked into the hotel, in my head it was Regina, and the girl, the front desk, said, "Welcome to Regina," and I go, "Oh, I'm no stranger." She didn't get the joke. And she just, "Oh, you've been here before?" And I go, "Yes." And I just,
So bad.
it was literally just the first thing that popped out of my head, and I don't know why, because I thought it was Regina the whole time.
You get pointers from Dolph on how to become a comic.
I'm just doing really shitty comedy now from Dolph. He's a great comic. I do shitty comedy. It was funny to me. I laughed all the way to my room.
Such a kid.
Yeah, I am.
Little child.
The Regina. That's what goes through everybody's mind, I feel like.
Sure.
You just did it right here on the podcast.
Yeah.
You giggled.
I giggled.
Little schoolboy.
Of course.
That's what this podcast is, just a bunch of schoolboys just giggling the whole time, talking about Regina and pool parties.
Yeah.
The
nipples.
But this town is crazy. My flight back, I had the unfortunate thing of sitting next to a very robust man with a big pot belly.
Yes.
And we couldn't even have the arm thing down between us. It was so I'm pushed out.
Two big guys sitting next to each
Nothing
other.
worse than the guy on the window was no small guy either. So it's like, those seats aren't even it's.
Oh, no.
So, but they were there there were like a bunch of people from Regina, because I connected in Calgary.
Okay.
And then had to go through customs and then got on the Air Canada. I'm not a big fan necessarily. The planes, they don't put the air on high on there. Where like United and Delta in the States.
It's freezing.
I love that. I sleep like a baby
Yeah.
with that air blasting on me. And I needed to get a little rest because I only got under 3 hours at the hotel before I had to get up. And it was a short connection. So I was looking, because I up all day going. So I needed to get a little sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I got to sleep when I get home, and that just wastes time. And the flight had a bunch of like women that like must have been their first time going to Vegas, and they weren't girls; they're like older women.
Yeah.
And they're just screaming and like making noise on the plane. Like, and I'm just,
I hate those.
and the guys had 3 women. They were like married, obviously, and they all had seat. The guys sat together, and then there was the 3 women in front of them. And the guys, they were very like, until they realized I was going to sleep, then they stopped. But like before the flight take-up, they're like shaking the girls' seats like crazy, reaching over, shaking the seat in front of me.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking like, what's wrong? You got these are grown, like old men.
Yeah.
Acting like I'm just like.
Did you say anything, or you just like let it go?
No, I was trying to literally. had my eyes shut, and so like I'm just ignoring this because it's like I have to be very careful how I conduct myself in public because if I get angry,
it's going to be on social media big time.
But not even that. But it can cause a scene too, where it's going to escalate, and so I keep my cool as much as I can, and especially on an airplane, big guy gets angry, you could very easily get taken off the plane. So you have to just keep calm on situations. Like you don't say bomb on an airplane. No. So I try not to. I don't whisper bomb. Like because if you drop, and it's just like and all assets of that. And as soon as they were like the plane got ready to go, they stopped. So it was had it gone on once we were like taken off, I think it would have been like, come on guys, like I'm trying to get a little shut eye here. But the women, they were the whole flight, and then they. This only happens in Vegas when you land in Vegas. And it doesn't happen on every plane, but I think it happens when the plane has a lot of people that are there for the first time.
Yes.
They break out into a loud round of applause.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking like, oh my God, you guys are going to just do stupid
it's
things.
like when the flight attendant's like, welcome to Vegas.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh my God.
Yeah. I'm going to do it. What happens to Vegas stays in Vegas.
And then, of course, the flight back, silence.
Yeah, because they're all just miserable. They've lost
everything. They're probably still hungover.
Oh,
I did that one time.
Overeating at buffets, just gorged themselves, put on 15 pounds in 3 days.
That's true. Oh,
this town can ruin the best of the best, and if you're not the best of the
when
best.
When I lived in Chicago for 20 years, I was working a 9-to-5 job, and I told my friends like I'm moving out to Vegas because my mom bought a house out here.
Yeah.
And I needed to change the scenery and away from the snow. All my friends like, dude, you're not gonna survive, man. You're not gonna survive.
Oh, this town could eat you alive if you. That's why I stay away. Like I know, like if you need to go out, you go out.
That's the thing, though. It's like when you live here, you avoid the strip.
Yeah.
Unless you have to.
I think occasionally you go out to eat or you do stuff, but you don't get caught up in the nightlife. Or some people do. Disco's living the life working. That's one thing, man. If you think about it, like, I bet you he makes good money.
Yeah.
Working security, the bouncing
and
there.
And it made poor decisions too.
I'm sure. Yeah. Yes. Possibly. But like, just saying, like, that's not a bad little gig. You go there, you do some security, you probably make a lot more money than you make a lot of other jobs.
That's true.
And you're just around the most beautiful women.
Yeah.
Not saying it's the healthiest lifestyle. By far, it's not.
No, it's to each
But if you treat it like a job, though, and you could probably, if you're married, it's probably not the best job or anything of that.
No, he seems to enjoy his life.
He's enjoying the single life still.
Yeah, dude.
There comes a point where eventually, maybe, but you don't have it. Yeah. You just go all the way. Yeah. Until he's not able to do security, and then they let him go. Then, or he goes down to like one of the lower. clubs.
He does the check-ins for the girls. Yeah. In the back. So not necessarily security, but he does the check-ins for the girls.
Now my ex that was there, he said he was very like professional.
Yeah, he's awesome.
She liked him.
Yeah, but I think he also does a podcast.
He does. Yeah, he has his wrestling podcast too, and whatnot. I always liked him growing up. I always thought he was extremely entertaining. Yeah, and
I should talk to him. We should have him on.
I had a conversation with him. I told you on when I was there when I went with Dolph and them. I was so wasted. Yeah, I don't remember anything I said to him. He literally was sitting next to us, and this was after somebody gave me. This was the last time I'd ever smoked marijuana, by the way.
Yes, I remember the story.
Somebody gave me a marijuana pen, and it destroyed me. Yeah. And I made some poor choices that night and spent quite a bit of money. Yes. I think with the ex, and she got the last laugh.
Of course.
No, but it was fun. I honestly had a blast, but I just remember having a conversation with him, and I don't know what we talked about, and it scares me.
He told me, he's like, yeah, you were...
Did he tell you that?
You're wasted.
Yeah. Oh, I was off my rock. Like that, the marijuana thing, it hit me full blown. Yeah. And it was like, it only got worse from that. Like that was still actually good. Like I was able to like do
Cool.
stuff,
Yeah.
but I was in that point where it was like so much stuff was in my system from alcohol and marijuana that it was just slowly getting released into my bloodstream more and more and more. And like then 2 hours later, that Uber ride home was tough.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I survived. I was like, okay, go hard in the paint one night, and then you chill out, and like no more. I got work to do. You gotta know your limits. But every once in a blue moon, it's nice to just go out and let off some steam. And
just relax.
that place, I gotta next time just put a limit, like leave all my cards at home, and maybe take one card, or not even no, that's not even good. Maybe just a certain level of cash, and like
the funny thing is though, I go to strip clubs. I bring no money. Because I don't get lap dances, I don't get drinks.
You're already around it.
I'm already around it, and also I know the girls are there to make money. It's like
absolutely.
Like I go there. I'm not looking to hook up to any of the girls. If you have that mentality, you can go home.
You can spend a lot of money doing that.
Yeah, because a lot of guys who come to the clubs are expecting to find that most beautiful girl, and hopefully maybe hook
it's a
up.
game to a lot of guys.
It is.
It's a challenge.
I remember like my buddies. We always make up our names and make up our professions and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
My favorite actually, Nikki Benz. She's a porn star, but every time she goes out and a guy's like, "You look familiar," and it's like, "No." It's like, "So what do you do?" It's like, "I'm a brain surgeon." So
it's driving me fucking nuts. I don't know why they've taken him out. I've walked him. He's been being really bad. He's been.
Is it because he's locked up?
Probably, but he's been like biting Sophie's legs, and like he's like getting jealous, and she gets scared. He's been a bad dog.
Wait, weren't you bringing a trainer?
I'm going to getting to that point because we're leaving her out now. He's just putting time out more. Yeah. He's learning slowly, but he's just a little like he's still a puppy. Yeah. So he's just still in that phase of like he whines, and
I think he's angry that you took his balls away.
Yeah. No, I'm not kidding. It got much worse after that. I'm questioning if that was the right move because he has gotten significantly worse since that. But anyways, it's
Well, what's your Amazon situation?
Oh my God! So listen to this. So we're actually making progress. It's still not up. Which is
not really progress, is there?
Well, it is, considering how horribly poor this has been. So I took to social media and started being a little more vocal.
I have seen it.
And people started saying some things, and we got some little steam with that.
I saw Amazon responded back.
They finally got back again, another one, and then what happens is I tagged Jeff Bezos in something, and that's when it got another person reached out. And I said, I've already dealt with a person from this. You guys aren't doing shit to help me.
Yeah.
And I didn't say shit, but you guys haven't done anything to help me.
Yeah.
And it's been 6 weeks. It's been over 6 weeks now. We're going on. This is week 7 we're on, which is unacceptable. So, but I started doing an Instagram live on my way to the airport to fly out to Canada here. And guess who? Finally, 6 weeks of them not calling me once after telling me they were going to call back and address this and fix it, telling me it was fixed. It was going to be fixed by the end of the day. Jesse calls, who is so far an American and the highest level that I have talked to yet.
So it's not Jeff Bezos?
No, not Jeff Bezos.
Oh, okay.
No, but Jesse. Jay, so I'll take it. And she, once again, I had to explain everything. She went over all the notes, and I go, look, I'm on my way to the airport. I got about 20 minutes. She was going through all this, and so we figured out what is going on. So they told me initially it was a shipping complaint. Remember I talked about that, saying something had happened in the shipping process where the item got damaged during shipping. 4 weeks of sending in plans of action for that, which they did not accept any of them, which I, like, senior supervisors reading my plan, telling me exactly what to put, and they go, no, they should be accepting this. This is addressing the issue of, even though I shouldn't have to be addressing this issue, playing their game. Then they switch it to, no, it was a safety complaint on somebody not liking the taste. Right. So then I start submitting plans of action for that, talking to people and getting all this different information, them rejecting that, finally accepting the plan of action for that. They only reinstate the pink lemonade. So the cherry's still been unlisted this whole time. All thousands of dollars in sales, which, by the way, another representative submitted for them to reimburse me on what my sales would have been based off past sales, and they rejected it because it would have been too much money. And I'm just like, well, that's not fair. Like, this is not, and again, life's not fair, so fuck it, right? Let's just fix the problem. Jessie is looking, she goes, I think I see what's going on. She goes, they are saying the taste complaint is being for the pink lemonade and a shipping complaint for the cherry limeade. I go, it's the same product. I said, this doesn't. She goes, I know, this makes no sense. She goes, but we have to. So what happened is the cherry, something happened, and this is on Amazon's end. What they did, she found out, well, we had to submit a new thing. Amazon, and this isn't me, by the way, this is Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
When people return items on Amazon, typically I'm supposed to just get them back, and they send them back to me, and that's that. And usually they're damaged, or like as far as they've been opened, I can't resell them. I lose money on that.
Of course.
And that's part of having a business. And it doesn't happen a lot, but it happens sometimes. Amazon was taking items for the cherry limeade that was being returned and then reselling them, which is very, again, so the lady, I go, excuse me? I said, one, I did not know that was going on. Two, that's Amazon's issue. You guys shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
I go, how am I being punished for this? So what she believes happened, this is not if the product was damaged in shipping, which all signs lead to it was damaged in shipping based off of how the product arrived. Mm-hmm. But it could have been that somebody got the product and opened the lid and opened up the seal, and then just for whatever reason tried it, didn't like it, put the seal back down, put the lid on with the wrap still around it, and sent it back, and Amazon then resold it. So then when the new person got it, they opened it up and then filed a complaint that it'd been opened prior.
Yeah.
But none of those, this is all in 100% accordance with the industry standards, and like everything is checked and double checked, and like it is there. I've gone through a ton of it, opening cases and like this stuff. She even goes, Jesus Christ. I go, why am I being punished for this? Mm-hmm. I said, this is bullshit. You guys can literally go and see all the inventory and go and check everything without opening it and see that this stuff is sealed and like, yeah. So she had to put a request in that would stop Amazon from reselling returned items. Which again, how's this
how is
this
that
is
possible?
This is you guys doing shitty things that you shouldn't be doing, by the way. Just so everybody knows how Amazon operates.
Well, speaking,
and then punishing me on that, saying that there's an issue, and all you have to do is go and check your inventory, and then you see, oh, this isn't an issue, and problem solved within a day.
Yeah.
No, instead they have punished me for 6 weeks, going on 7, and now we got it approved where that is now in process, but like that won't take effect until May 15th. As far as the products not being resold on returned inventory. And she's now working on getting it reinstated, which I was hoping to hear back today.
Of course not.
No. So I'm hoping to give it by Monday. I have an answer. But she's been the best. And actually, she has locked herself onto this case.
Whatever happened to the other girl?
Never heard from her again. Again, who said this was Melissa who locked herself on. And I explained that to her. I go, Jesse, I've been let down. I go, do you understand why I'm frustrated? She goes, I understand. Absolutely. She goes, this is not right. She goes, I will be the only one you deal with from here on out, and I will get this resolved for you. She goes, it might take a little bit. I will get it resolved. I go, it's only been 6 weeks. Like, you guys are really, so my next conversation with her also is going to have her submit a thing to have to have me reimbursed, which I don't anticipate them, but I'm going to keep trying. But it's been, I appreciate everybody and the support on all this. It's been.
Well, with regards to Amazon, they're bumping up the Prime from $99 to $119 now.
Really?
Yeah.
They are a greedy company. If people don't understand, like it is.
I'm actually thinking. My account ends in June or July, and so I'm thinking about just canceling my account.
I think if you cancel it and delete it off your phone, it would stop that urge from buying from them. Mm-hmm. There's so many other places you could shop online too.
I used to buy stuff on eBay all the time, and
they've just simplified the process to where it is really convenient.
It is easier to, like, if something's not working, something that you can easily return. Mm-hmm. But there's other places where, I can before. I think it was like what if you spend over $50, it's free shipping.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still have that now, but I think I'd rather if I need something right away, I'll just go to the store and buy it right away.
Yeah.
The only difference you save is like anywhere from $20 or $10.
I just think they're getting greedy. I think
Yeah.
they're too powerful, and I think that when you get that much power, you can start really screwing people.
Yeah.
And then you start raising prices at a level. I want to know why they have to raise any prices. I'm telling you, for all this,
They made
the sellers,
billions
they
of
take
dollars,
they
yeah.
take between 30 and 40%
Yeah.
from sales, and when it's all figured in with their Amazon their percentage and their FBA fees, between 30 and 40%. That is just that is sky high.
And things like if
they
you
make
go,
more than I make on my
Yeah.
supplements, by the way, and I
Yeah,
take all the
and
which is absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
Like that's how much they charge in fees for everybody listening. Great exposure, don't get me wrong, but it is the way just the way they treat you is the problem.
Yeah.
It's not cool, and again, buying from it. I just bought 5 of things today for the townhouse again.
Yeah, I saw you got the August finally.
Yeah, I got the August.
Did you buy the handle and the lock?
Yeah, I sent you a picture. I got another one. It was similar. It was a little better.
Yeah. Wait, did it only have the deadbolt or did it have the
No, it's
lock?
both. It has the deadbolt separate from
Yeah.
up top and then the handle on the bottom.
But does the handle has a key inside or no?
I don't know. I got
Because normally you just need a deadbolt and not the key for the bottom because
Yeah.
if the bottom was locked, then no one can get in.
But I would as long as I always leave the bottom unlocked. I'm saying.
Yeah, but if someone else locked the bottom,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you're about secret, then you might have to go there and
Yeah.
get it. But I'll take a look at it.
I'll look at it. I got
Yeah.
it in my truck
Yeah.
actually.
But I actually found one at Ross for like $25.
Door lock.
Yeah.
I always I bought one that was like $85-$90 in there. I went with the better, more expensive. It was a newer one.
Okay.
And I just feel like I was like with locks, you don't want to.
No, but I saw it.
One from Ross kind of scares me. I just feel like.
Yeah, I bought stuff from Ross. That's just some good deals.
No, they have great, but like sometimes they have stuff and there's something like a little wrong with it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I bought much luggage from there. They'll last 2 weeks and they just breaks.
Oh, yeah. I saw
Luggage
my luggage has been okay.
But I pack heavy, so I abuse
You
those
do.
bags, and I
You
was
do.
traveling every week. So.
You should get like a Toomey or something.
Oh, I have those.
Yeah.
By the way, I have a. That's not Toomey. It's
Samsonite?
nope. There's another Briggs and Riley.
Oh, okay.
And I had one that lasted for maybe 2 years in WWE. I got the whole set. I still have the handbag, and I actually still have a smaller one upstairs. That one is the zipper on that needs to be redone. They tried to fix it. It keeps breaking, so I quit using that, but I still have it. My big one I had to get replaced. There's a store here that they would do free repairs on it.
Yeah.
I used to always have to get it repaired. The wheels would go on them because from the 4 wheels.
Yeah.
So I switched to a 2-wheel. They gave me a brand new bag. They sent it to me. It's like this forest green bag. But now that bag's been great. As far as the 2 wheels, the 2 wheels will last much longer than 4.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For the abuse and traveling every week. But the problem is the zippers from they broke the zippers off. So now I just gotta like. It was like the airlines from opening and checking your bag
course.
of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, I do it all the time, and they've never broken off. They broke both of them off, and so that now the bag. I was like, I need to take that in and get new things put on so they could break those off on me.
Yeah.
And then my merch bag, my small one, that's a 4-wheeler. That I got in the airport last year because my other one, my handle broke just in the airport when I had to buy a new bag at the airport because I had all this merchandise I had to in there. And then the wheel, I got it, picked it up off the belt today. One of the wheels gone from. I'm like, what are these they just must just.
Well, dude,
jack this shit around.
I look at sometimes when I'm at the airport or I'm in the plane, I'm watching the workers throwing luggage into the plane. It's like, yeah, they're using gravity and it's like heaving it.
I got in once to my room. This was last year. I've never been more upset. My protein powder was complete. It was completely full when I got, and the lid was completely shut and screwed on. And they don't pop off or anything. Somebody had to have opened it and either just opened it and dumped it out, or opened it and not put it back on.
Yeah.
And protein powder all over everything. So protein powder gone, first of all. But if you've ever had protein powder on your stuff, it ruined stuff because it gets to go wash it off and your hands get all sticky. The protein gets all thick and like shake it off. I was able to shake it off my clothes, but so what I had to do is I had to go in the bathtub because you don't want to put the protein powder all over the floor because you're going to ruin the hotel.
Yeah.
And I had to shake all my clothes into the tub first and get it all off enough. And I did. And then when I got home, I had to wash everything really good. But I was able to get all my clothes for the few days all fine. But now I had all this protein powder in the tub, and then it got all over my toiletry bag. It like just got inside all the zippers, and I had to take everything out of that and soak the bag, and the bag is the leather bag's not meant to get wet. It's like just holds on to all heavy, and I had just stuff all over the hotel room. And just my tub, it took forever because I had to shower eventually.
Wait, what color was the protein powder?
It was vanilla, so everything was white, but it was just thick white. Just
imagine the maid comes walking in, is like, "Whoa, someone had a party in here."
Yeah. No, I'm always careful that when I do my pre-workout and stuff too, if I get powder on the thing, I just wipe it off. Because I don't want to make it look like is this guy doing drugs.
You should purposely make lines out of it.
That would be.
Yeah, I've been sorting up protein. And
cops just waiting for me when I get back into my room, but it was. That was I ruined all the towels. I had to use the towels to the protein was gloops of protein into the drain, and just I'm showering and my feet just smell like vanilla because I'm just standing in where all the protein was. So, but yeah, hopefully that doesn't ever happen again.
So did you get my text about the Rice Krispies?
I did. I'm glad it is.
Didn't you say what your text was? That's a game changer right there.
Yeah. Now I know it exists. It's not just looking online. It's tomorrow's my carb day actually. I think because I've done 3 days.
It was at Walmart when I found it, and I actually bought one.
Did you? Have you had it yet?
I haven't tried it yet.
Son of a bitch. Should have brought it.
I know.
Could have had a cereal party. Just eat cereal during the show.
Crunch.
Just, I had the Captain Crunch Donuts cereal. That was amazing. Good? It makes the milk taste really good, too.
Is it a frosted donuts, or what is it?
I don't know. Yeah, donuts are sprinkles, kind of color. It's little donut holes. I don't know. It was delicious, though. It was... but it's nowhere. It's still not even close to Rice Krispie treats.
Do you wait for the milk to soak in, or do you eat it right away with the milk?
No, I pour it, and then it's making a protein something for a chicken breast or something. But I'll let it sit for a few minutes before
so it absorbs. Yeah, some people like it when it's still crunchy and with the milk, but I like it because that way I can drink the milk. And with the sweetness of it, that's what I do. I
like the milk at the end is always a treat.
Yeah.
I just like sugar because I don't ever get to eat it really. So it's I don't care how the cereal is. It's amazing. But I actually had a good trip to Canada this week though. I wrestled for HIW, and I don't know if you've seen any Twitter. My opponent was Mike McSugar. He is very flamboyant wrestler.
Okay.
He is, I guess you could call him uber gay as far as his character.
Sure.
But it was...
kind of similar to Goldust.
But he makes Goldust look very tame.
Really?
Yeah, he does some pretty extreme stuff, which I'm going to tell you guys. And because it made for an interesting matchup. And it was,
I'm sure.
We had a lot of fun, and the crowd was great. Out there, I don't know if it was broke their attendance for their show, for their big show of the year, but it was a nice little turnout, and it was the crowd was electric, man, and it was fun. Anyways, we kind of set the tone. I go to lock up with him. He goes behind me and slaps my ass, and the crowd he's a good guy and a bad guy there who depends who he's wrestling.
Yeah.
But his stuff is really, really popular with the crowd because it's entertaining.
Yeah.
So it was one of those. It's you gotta let him do his character, and you gotta kind of tell a story with this, and then the guy has to come a point where I got to get a hold of him and throw him around. But you got to have a little fun with it, and but in the back. I go, what's some of the gay stuff that you do? And try to get a feel. Literally get a feel for what he does. And so he goes, I like to usually on a lockup I might go under and I'll slap your ass, and he slaps my ass in the locker room. And I'm like, okay, you didn't have to actually do it. And I don't say anything, and I'm like, okay, what other kind of stuff you got? What else was And he goes, I do this thing in the corner where I like grind against you. And he literally grinds his ass into me. And I go, whoa, 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 whoa. I go, you could have just told me. I go, you don't actually have to grind me, man. And everybody lost their shit. It was pretty funny. And I go, so I don't know if his sexual orientation in real life.
Sure, whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's, whatever it is, it's great.
Yeah.
But I felt violated. Because it wasn't like in character. It was like,
sure.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
And, but it was hilarious at the same time. And then I was like, okay. And we got some things. And so we go out there and he did a thing where I get frustrated with him and I get a hold of him. I toss him across the ring finally and he takes off and I chase him around and slide in, ducks a couple of my throws. So I do my Thez press where I jump and land on top of the guy, and I usually grab the guy's head and do these head smashes into the mat, where it's just like these head smashes. Well, when I go to grab his head, he grabs my head and tries to start making out with me. So I'm like tussling with him, and I get him off me, and I get out of the ring, come back in pissed off, and I grab him and take him into the corner and start choking him.
Yeah.
Like fucking pissed off. And he's just screaming harder and harder.
Oh,
harder,
man.
Big Daddy, harder. He's like, and the crowd is losing their shit. And like out of disgust, I stop choking him. Go to fucking punch him again. He goes out and he fucking starts grinding me in the corner. And then fucking do the stupid fucking hook him and then German his ass 3 fucking times. Cross the ring. And then just start beating the shit out of him. And then use some interference, got a low blow on me. I didn't see that coming. And then I let him get a little heat on me, as we like to say.
Sure.
And then the sequence of going home before we did some stuff at the end was, you'll appreciate this. He does, instead of a 10 punch in the corner where you get up on the second rope and do a 10 punch, he does dick thrust into the guy's head.
Oh, no.
So he literally is just thrusting himself into my forehead, and the crowd is counting along. 1, 2, 3.
I was like, stop counting.
No,
stop counting.
No, trust. This was not easy. But it was you have to know you have to know the two characters and know it. Like you have to. It was. Can't go out there and have a regular wrestling match because you cheat the audience from this guy's character.
Sure.
But you also have to be able to like have a little fun with it.
And
it's in the forehead, so it's still. But and then out of that, hook him, power bomb him out of the corner, start hitting some bombs, and we had some dips in there. But the crowd was great, and it was actually a lot of fun. But he was the most interesting guy I've ever wrestled. I've never been in there with somebody. Wow. Like it's Goldust is very tame now, but Goldust back in the day. But this is still. Because of TV, they could never do stuff like this guy gets away with.
Of course not, yeah.
He's thrusting himself onto his opponents. It was, but it was nice and able to give the crowd a nice little talk afterwards.
Sure.
And, it was a nice trip. They treated me really well, and the talent for HIW and the promoter, thank you very much. It's always good to go out there and do good business, and I'm looking forward. I go to Australia here, which we got to talk about the recordings. Hopefully, maybe do a Thursday recording next week or whatever day, maybe Friday.
Friday, I could probably do.
Because then we got to turn around and do Tuesday because I leave Wednesday. Because
Okay.
I need to get, or I can do, if you can't do it, we could do we get a message Phil to see if we get Phil on. But I got my buddy, I got Ace. I could always do the wrestling news, and we don't always have to do a 2-hour show. I like to. It's fun, but sometimes with this is a big Australian tour for a week and a half, a little over that actually. So it's I'm looking forward to doing that. But I'm enjoying. I got this week off. Townhouse Furniture comes Wednesday. I went and picked up. I got the lock and everything. And
you want me to swing by?
Well, I got to see because I got a guy coming out doing the TVs.
Okay.
And I got to schedule that. I called today to think I don't think they're open on the weekends.
Okay.
Because the furniture's coming Wednesday. I want to get the TVs mounted on the wall because I brought the TVs over. I don't want them just sitting in there. I'd rather have them mounted on the wall. Yeah. But I was going to see because I got a computer chair that came in and just have everybody do everything all in either one day or get the TVs done before.
Okay.
But I was going to see just have them do it all with the locks. I didn't know. I could do the Lux too.
Yeah.
I've done the Lux. That's not the August thing. I've never done.
Yeah,
so
it's you got to program it on your phone and stuff like
that.
that.
I feel like
I think, but I mean, like they have the instructions.
Yeah.
It's pretty self-explanatory, but I
want to get it installed, and then I could figure out especially if the door has a bottom lock. That'd actually be nice for the beginning. Because then I can just figure that out Wednesday. I'm going to have to be there all day anyways when they do the furniture.
Okay.
Because they got to deliver everything and assemble it, and I got to get everything turned on, which I'm going to have to call. I'm going to call on Monday and try to schedule all that for Wednesday.
The power's still off, right?
Yeah. So get the power. The water's on, but get the power turned on, and I got to call the trash Nevada. Not Nevada Energy. I got to call Nevada Energy.
Republic Services.
Yeah, and have them come out and. Or get me set up for all that stuff.
I heard that if you are living in a house and you have electricity, you have to have trash service.
Yeah, you have to have it all. You got to get it all turned on.
For a while, my mom, when she bought the house, she wasn't living there. She has electricity, but she's not making any trash, so that's why she refused to pay.
Because you shouldn't have to do that if you're not there.
Yeah, but they said that if you have electricity, you have to
that's their way of tracking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If the house doesn't, then okay, it's just black and white with them. They don't actually.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're not, because how do they prove that? They're not going to, that's
so. So yeah, that's one of the
sucks. There should be a thing if you show proof of another address, so they would okay, we can.
Yeah, but. They
probably don't have any way. I'm sure that people have abused that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Getting free trash taken away. But it's, God, man, what else is going on? I'm looking.
I went to see Infinity War.
Ace did too. He said it was really good.
It was incredible. It was awesome.
I think I might have to go to the movies and go check that out.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you see what happened with Bill Cosby?
Yeah.
Is he going to jail?
He's going to jail.
He's already like 70 something, right?
Yeah. I think
do they know how long he's going to jail for? Because I know each sentence is like 10 years.
From 10 years per...
And it's 3 different things?
3 different things, so he's like 30 years right now.
That's if he gets the maximum, right? Which I'm sure... I don't know.
I think because like they said that they were trying... I think the prosecutor was saying not to give bail to him or something like that because he's a flight risk. And I think Bill Cosby started swearing. And he says, it's like, yeah, because Bill Cosby might have a private plane and leave the place. It's like, I don't have a fucking plane, you asshole. And
he's blind too now, they said.
I think
he's
so.
Like going blind.
Yeah.
But
then a lot of the colleges who gave him honorary doctorates, they rescinded all those degrees.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, like, and they stopped televising Bill Cosby shows now.
Oh, wow.
So they stopped televising Cosby shows.
Which actually hurts the cast because they get paid on that.
Yeah, because they get paid, residuals and stuff like that. So... Man. It sucks.
Just blur out his face. That's holy shit.
Yeah, dude, it's amazing how it is. I mean, look, rape is a terrible thing.
You can't even.
There's no way to
justifying it.
It, whatever. But it's just like the fact that for someone who done so many things good, can do something so horrific. Yeah. It's just like. The San Francisco, the serial killer turned out to be a cop. Yeah. And so it's amazing how people can do horrendous things, but do things that...
his character, too, that's the other thing. He played such a good guy character that and he played that role so well that you just assume that there's a part of him that is that character because it was so easy for him to or he just portrayed it so well. That's where I always talk about, like in wrestling, when you play a character and people if you play a character well enough, they think that's you. That your personality.
Yeah, whether if you're a good guy or a bad guy, people think that, oh my God, either you're awesome or you're bad. But even sometimes the good guys has been assholes in public.
Yeah. It happens. But like something like this is so extreme. It's like it's not like he's. Then that
and they were victim shaming the accusers and stuff like that. But look, it's like, oh, why didn't you report it right away? It's because, dude, someone who's that powerful like Bill Cosby, and who you trusted, he
You don't know too that you don't know if it's happening to other people. It could have just been you don't know. Like, are you going to be singled out? Are you going to be? Because oftentimes, if it is just one person, the world, they get a lot of hate for that too.
Yes.
By people that that love that person.
They're accusing them, of trying to be famous.
How dare you? You're just looking for fame. Yeah. And they get attacked by that whole angle by people. So it's definitely understandable.
Yeah, and I remember seeing something is like, look, there has been X amount of accuser. Can anybody name those accusers? Not one. Yeah. So exactly what are they looking for as far as fame goes? Yeah. They want to stop this from happening, Mm-hmm. So it's tragic. I hope, it'd be awesome if, legit, there's people out there looking out for money and stuff like that, but as, it is a difficult thing. Even not just women, men has been, sexually assaulted, sexually harassed. So we're at a time where with social media and hopefully there will be a lot more good to come of this in order for people to
prevent it from happening again. Yes, I agree. That maybe other people that if that is going on or things of that nature, they'll think twice. Exactly. Because the stakes are a little higher now with social media and everything being out there now. So it's unfortunate, but I think with that we'll go ahead, take a break, and then we'll come back to some tips of the week, do some questions, some plugs, and wrap it up. But we'll be right back after these messages.
I am the ultimate Ryback, and I'm here to tell you about Feed Me More Nutrition. It is the ultimate premium in sports nutrition. Wake up, unlimited energy. I take it non-stop, and I have all the unlimited energy from the gods above. My blood, my skin, the energy is pouring through my system. The big guy, all natural testosterone booster will be giving you erections to the heavens. And if you need protein builds muscles upon muscles. I'm so hungry. Premium grass-fed, prebiotic, enhanced whey protein isolate is what you need. Fat, burn body fat with Shell Shock Extreme Fat Burner, the most powerful fat burner on the market today. Feed me more nutrition. Save 10% with Podcast 10. Available on feedmemore.com and Amazon.
Hey guys, this is the big guy Ryback, and I want to personally say thank you to you guys, our great listeners and supporters, for an amazing 2017. 2018 is surely going to be even better. Feed Me More Nutrition, my natural premium sports nutrition company, had a phenomenal first year, and that's thanks to you. We are adding Finish It branched chain amino acid electrolyte pump matrix to the lineup for 2018 and have even more exciting custom formulas coming in the upcoming months. If you've been putting off getting in better shape and getting healthy for not only you, but your loved ones, now is the time to do it. Whether it's consuming more lean protein, burning some unwanted pounds, increasing your natural testosterone and sex drive, or ramping up your energy levels, Feed Me More Nutrition has you covered. As always, positive Amazon reviews are greatly appreciated. 2018 is your year. Get hungry. Stay hungry. Feed me more. And we are back. Moving on, we've got the tips of the week this week. Tips of the week, yay! My book of the week The Hard Thing About Hard Things, Building a Business When There Are No Easy Answers, by Ben Horowitz. Quote of the week, work hard and be nice to people. It's a poster I got in my townhouse. I was looking it online. I don't see a name attached to it, but I saw that, and I like inspirational things in my properties for my guest. And work hard and be nice to people, folks. It's not that hard. Nutrition tip of the week, when in a pinch for food on the road or when you are not home and you're at work and whatever, you can get grilled chicken breast anywhere. A lot of fast food places, even though it's not ideal, oftentimes when I'm on the road, I'll get a grilled chicken salad with a light dressing, and I'll order 3 or 4 grilled chicken breasts, and it's actually really cheap. If you just have them order the chicken on the side, it's like $1.99 at McDonald's or something.
Okay.
Maybe $2.99. It's not expensive though in comparison to like you can get, especially if you're on the keto diet. You get a little lettuce, you get some protein, you get a light dressing, a light Italian or something, and you're good to go. If you're having your fat a little higher, maybe you get a ranch. If you're really on that keto diet, depending on where your fat levels are at and everything. So just know that just because you have to eat it at a fast food restaurant, you don't have to throw your diet away. And a lot of people will justify that and be like, well, until I had to get the chicken nuggets. It's like, no, you don't. You got options. And you can get these grilled chicken breasts anywhere. Even getting burger patties. The burger patties definitely have a lot more fat in them. But, like Wendy's is another one where I feel like the beef is a little better quality than some of the others. But again, it's especially when you're following the ketogenic diet, you can make do for a meal or two when you're not at home. And get a little green, get some lettuce in there, and that won't do you wrong. Workout fitness tip. Workout fitness tip of the week. Teep. Just the teep. Cable tricep kickbacks, where instead of dumbbell tricep kickbacks, you don't use a lot of weight, but you get the cable attachment and you get the single arm pulley, and you get it at a shoulder level or right around a comfortable shoulder level, and it's just like a regular dumbbell kickback, but you're using the cable attachment, and you just kick back and you go much lighter than you would. You want form is really, really important, and you concentrate on squeezing the tricep muscle. It's really, really good, I find, for the outer tricep head on that in development. So it's give that a try. Your next workout, and it's just cable tricep kickbacks. You can Google it, YouTube it, and there should be videos demonstrating that so you could visually understand what I am talking about on that. And that is the tips of the week this week. Moving on, I think we got some questions.
We just got a couple.
Yeah, nothing. I don't know why we had so many last week. We literally had hundreds.
Did you put it out that day, or was it a couple days?
It might have been, but it just gained. I don't know why. But usually, if you move on to another post, like things die down.
Yeah, that was
that one 300.
No, I think it was your picture. I think it was showing your handsome self.
I'm trying to think that.
I think it was that picture.
It had feed me questions.
Yeah.
The best part about, and somebody brought it to my attention. I didn't realize. Because I have a pretty good memory of all the photos I've taken, where I'll see a photo and go, I remember that, I remember that, I remember that, I remember that period. I remember when I looked kind of like that. I remember I was in really good shape in that one. I was extra lean in that one. This one, I'm looking at the singlet, and I remember this singlet, and I've done different photos in this, but I go, where's my armbands? And I don't remember, I don't remember taking this photo in these armbands and without my armbands on.
Was it Photoshopped or something?
The singlet. That's when that's when I was wearing trunks towards the end. That picture's not.
It kind of looked Photoshopped.
It is Photoshopped. The singlet.
Okay,
it's not. But I didn't pick that up on the image until I couldn't. I couldn't figure it out, and then somebody said it. I go, wait a second. That is fucking Photoshopped. And I was like, how the hell did I not recognize that? It's so clear as day on the left-hand side.
God, that's
both
hilarious.
sides. It's just looks.
You should seriously have horrible Photoshops of yourself on the next Feed Me More question.
Yeah.
Just a shitty.
That's the kind of things that gets 463 comments, by the way. On that, which we could just go and answer questions from that eventually.
Yeah.
And today's we did an 18 today. Which is how does that happen?
I don't know.
And I use the same hashtags. They're pretty much.
I think it's the picture. It's got to be the picture because this one you just have.
Hungry. Yeah, I didn't have. I got to have hungry for questions. I should have had something with questions. But pictures of me tend to do well compared to when I don't put pictures of me. So it is my page, so that does make sense.
That is true. I'm just gonna say this one's not a question, but this one's like, this is from Melo Pie. Not a question, but I really took to heart the tip the other day to park further away in a parking lot and get your steps in. I've been trying to implement this in my life. I've always put my shopping cart away though. I'm not inconsiderate. So.
That is good. That's good. It's just a little thing that it just helps. It creates good habits of being more active. It's not to like. If you're in a rush and you got to park in a spot up front, that's fine. But I'm just talking, doing little things like these can create overall good habits in other areas.
For sure.
It's just a mindset switch. So I'm glad that she's doing that. Thank you very much.
This is from Jay Guernsey, 1990. What was your favorite concert or non-wrestling event you've been able to see? And he says, by the way, the fat burners are insane.
Thank you very much for that. That's for the Feed Me More Nutrition shout out.
So is there any concerts or not?
I've never been. So I don't think I've ever been to an actual concert.
Are you serious?
I swear to God. Like I've seen a show at the Stratosphere when I was younger, like the Michael Jackson impersonation.
Okay.
And was miserable during all of it. Like I don't like this. I hate it. Like I'm miserable at these things.
What about like...
I've been to the circus.
Circus?
The Cirque
du Soleil?
Yeah. I can never say Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah. And I enjoyed it maybe for a little bit, and then it just went on so long, I get like uncomfortable, and like I eventually, and I don't like being around groups of people. I hate it. Like it's like sitting actually and being around. I could perform all day long. I am comfortable. Yeah. I don't feel threatened. I don't feel, I don't know what it is. I am completely at home being in front of people and performing. But being on the opposite end of that, I can't do it. I avoid it like the plague, and so I've gone on dates where I've like
comedy shows.
Yeah, and I don't. I'm not. I don't like it at all. No. I'd rather watch it on TV. I don't know. That's just how I am. I can't.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't. I can't explain it, but I don't. But I've been to. I want to say I've seen. Shit, I saw something. It wasn't a concert though. It was another type thing. I've never actually been to like a Linkin Park concert or anything like that, or I don't have the desire. Like to me, that just sounds miserable.
Yeah.
Like I would rather just listen to the music on my headphones and enjoy it, and like rather than be around a bunch of people that I don't know. I just can't.
Yeah.
And again, maybe that has something to do with now, but I've always been like that. So, but again, I could sit there and say, well, it's because then people recognize you or that and come up to you. You know what I mean? Where you can't really. No, that's not. But I didn't like it before. So I don't know if that's where I'm extremely introverted, where I just don't. But I just don't enjoy. Like I enjoy going out though, and like I enjoy going out to eat and going and doing. Like I enjoy going occasionally.
I think it's because you don't have that control a little bit.
Might be.
I think it's because when you go on the ring or on stage, you're getting the audience attention.
Yeah.
But then when you're in an event, you don't have that control. Like you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but that doesn't bother. It's not so much it's not the attention because I don't care about attention. But it's I
think it's just you don't have the control.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like even like traveling, I hate. Like that's one of the reasons I hate traveling and being stuck on an airplane.
You don't have that control.
And around like even when I did the train in Scotland.
Yeah.
I had they had a VIP thing, and I had it to myself for 3/4 of the trip.
Someone showed up.
Then people all showed up and started getting crowded in there.
Yeah.
And I had to get up because people came and sat at the table. I was at in a 4-table thing. Like it looked like a bus, like kind of like where they have the tables in there and the seats. And so there was like 2 seats. I was sitting there all by myself the whole time. And then people started coming and sitting in the individual seats. And then a group of like 3 people came in or 4 people. Uh-huh. 2 of them sat in individual chairs, and the other 2 came and sat at my table, literally closer than me and you right now. like looking face to face.
Yeah.
And I just got up and went and sat all the way in the, like, I just grabbed my shit and like, here, take it. I don't want to, like, because what happened, I'm listening to a book because then people start engaging in conversation. I don't want to talk to them. And it's not being an ass, so I like to keep to myself.
Right.
Because I like to just process information. And if I got free time, I just like to listen to what I want to listen to. I don't want to listen to a stranger talk to me.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just how I am. And I can't, there's different times when I'm more, if I know who the person is and want to talk to them, that's different. But it's, I don't know. Yeah, that definitely has something to do with it.
Yeah, I think for me, like when I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan, and so I went to see Roger Waters here in Vegas last year in June. They're known for having like spectacles during their concerts.
Yeah.
Like puppets, and it's visual pleasing. So that was the most, I think, visual pleasing show I ever saw. And
really?
Plus, he's getting up there in age. The Pink Floyd, I think the drummer passed away, and then right now there's the two lead singers of Pink Floyd are still performing.
Okay.
So, but they're getting up there in age. But yeah, that was
Pink Floyd. I'm trying to think of what the best time I had going out to one of those shows, what it would have been, though, and I can't. I feel like I'm forgetting something. It wasn't a concert, but it was like an event, and I don't know. I always liked going to the wrestling events. So when I was a kid and and got older, I didn't mind those at all. Even though looking around, it was a different. I know we've talked about that before, but I don't like even going to like movie theaters. I don't like. I'd rather just watch a movie at home. Because I don't, even though I love going, if the theater could just be me and whoever's in there.
Yeah, that's why I like going like early shows or like when
if there's only a few people, I love that.
Has been out for like 2 weeks and no one's going there, and that's where I.
If it's packed in there, I don't like it.
I went because like people were talking about the Avengers. That's why I went to see it, because I don't want to be, the spoilers and stuff like that. And so people were talking about, dude, it was amazing. It's like, all right.
So you knew you had to go see it during the busy period.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have anything else? I think we have a few more questions. There were a few decent ones.
Yeah. The last one is like, how impressed are you with the Golden Knights? I'm a Vegas native like you, East Side, laughing out loud. Unfortunately,
Phoenix never texted me back, by the way.
Unfortunately, they lost 4-3 in overtime, but...
Is it tied 1-1 now?
Yeah, the series is tied 1-1.
Yeah.
But, dude, they exceeded everyone's expectations.
Yeah. If they win this round, it's a best of 7, then was there one more round?
There's one more round before the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
And so it'll be if Winnipeg or Nashville in the conference finals.
I hope it's Nashville in Vegas Golden Knights, Rusev Day and Ryback.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we can start that feud all over again.
But, look, a lot of people never expected it to go this way, but I think it actually helped bring unity somewhat in Vegas, because they're our first major sports team, and so it helped. I wouldn't say. I mean, it kind of healed after the shootings.
Yeah, I agree on that. They've turned that into a positive as much as they could have.
Yeah, they never thought that they would do this well, and so it totally exceeded everyone's expectations.
But I noticed in the airports they have all the shops now and everything too, and they are like, I'm sure that merchandise is going like crazy. Mm-hmm. There was one other question I thought that was pretty good by Corey Fabricator, and in your opinion, what would you say is more physically demanding on the body and requires more conditioning and endurance? A 15-minute wrestling match or a 3 5-minute round MMA match? Thank you, by the way. Finish It was yet another 5-star product. Thank you, Corey, very much. The feedback on Finish It's been amazing so far by everybody, and I think I love it, and I'm glad you guys are liking it too. So this is a tough one. Because
have you ever been in an MMA fight?
No. So, but like trained and did like the boxing and some jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai stuff, and like again in boxing you'll simulate and do mitts. You do 3-minute rounds on that, but it's not. And I've actually sparred before too, and it's physically demanding. but it's you adapt. It's different. They're both different. Like it's almost like if you were to put somebody into a 15-minute wrestling match that had only done fighting, they might completely blow themselves up because they don't understand the pacing in wrestling. Yeah. But I think I would be prone to say the fighting would be, if you have to do 3 5-minute rounds, would be more physically demanding.
Oh yeah, for
depending
sure.
on, because wrestling, and again, you put dips and dives in there so that you are not constantly pushing yourself. Whereas in a fight, you don't have that control necessarily. Mm-hmm. If you are in a barn burner and you both are physically taxing each other and you're equally matched, that within minutes you are smoked sometimes.
Yeah. Well, you also got to factor in the pain, the amount of pain, and the concussions,
everything. Two entirely different things. Yeah. But I would say that the fighting requires. I think if you have to learn wrestling conditioning, and for the majority of people, it can completely destroy them, and they couldn't do it. But I think that the fighting is, again, if the fight's not over with right away, and it's very physically demanding. And again, it depends on the matchup and how if you guys are equally matched and whatnot. I think, to me, I would say the fighting 3 5-minute rounds would be more physically demanding, in my opinion,
for sure.
Even though they're two entirely different things, though. And again, it would depend on the style of the match you're having. If you put together a 15-minute nonstop match where you're not taking any breaks whatsoever, might be pretty close. But it's, again, you're fighting for your life in one, and it's entertainment in the other. So it's, again, two different things. Yeah. So, two different mindsets.
Exactly.
So, but with that, I think, let me see. Yeah, other than that, I think we're good on questions for this week. There no one more will go to thrown by the Alex Malevsky. How are emergency electrolytes compared to your BCAA? That's what inspired me, the electrolyte, the emergency electrolytes, because they use stevia. Their drink was kind of carbonated, I believe. It had like a carbonated type taste, or a weird different taste that I wasn't necessarily thrilled about, but I liked their electrolyte content. That was what inspired me to include. I was actually mixing them on my own for quite a while, and then doing citrulline and some other stuff for the blood circulating ingredients, which is what inspired me, because I was getting really positive results from it. And you can never have enough electrolytes, especially if you're an athlete and pushing yourself. So that was what actually inspired me. I think they're great. I do like them. I wasn't crazy about the taste. They came in lemon lime. It wasn't horrible though, but it was. I love the taste of my finish at BCAA. That's getting really good reviews on the taste so far. So to answer that, but I think, go ahead. You got a song of the week to do some plugs?
Let's see. What song?
I'd like to let you. I know somebody had said why don't you let your fans pick the song of the week? Then I was like, it wouldn't be my song of the week.
No, it wouldn't.
I wouldn't really know. Like,
let's do.
And then people pissed at you. Why didn't you pick my song?
Let's go old school. Let Me Clear My Throat by DJ Kool.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with Pink Floyd to sync it all in.
Remember last time when you posted on YouTube the
copyright deal. Yeah, stay away from that.
No, so let's go DJ Kool, Let Me Clear My Throat.
All right. What do you got?
The website is aceandjoe.com. Instagram and Twitter, Webmaster Joe, and that's it.
All right. For all fan mail for myself, please send to P.O. Box 752740, Las Vegas, Nevada 89136. Check out the Feed Me More Nutrition, the big guy Ryback, Feed Me More merch on Amazon merch. Just search for Feed Me More Nutrition, and all that stuff will come up. Feed Me More Nutrition on feedmemore.com, Amazon, and eBay, where we also do international orders, and international orders on feedmemore.com. We're in Las Vegas at Spartan Nutrition and Wise Chiropractic. For personal video shout-outs from myself, go to bookcameo.com/thebigguy.Ryback. That's bookcameo.com/thebigguy.Ryback. And thank you for all the 5-star reviews on that, guys. I actually got some more of those I got to knock out here tomorrow morning. Before we get the next week started. For all bookings for myself, professional wrestling bookings, please contact Paula at bookthebigguy@yahoo.com. Check out Wake Up, It's Feeding Time, my motivational book available on Amazon in paperback, Audible, and Kindle formats. Fuel Meals, my personal meal prep service. FuelMeals.com. Save 15% with discount code TheBigGuy. That's FuelMeals.com. Personal meal prep service at your doorstep. Social media at CWTBG on Twitter, at Ryback22 on Twitter, at Feed Me More Nutrition on Facebook, The Big Guy, Ryback22 on Instagram, and Feed Me More Nutrition on Instagram as well, and Ryback247 on Snapchat. Thank you guys for listening. You have just listened to another episode of Conversation with The Big Guy.
Bye-bye.
Feed me more.